Welcome to What the Fuck Sunday. The show. I'm almost embarrassed at how many times I have to keep changing stuff lately, but you guys roll with it, and I appreciate your patience and understanding as I try to get my act together. It's just been interesting. Hold on a second. Where's my thing? Here it is. So what we're going to do today is, our regular 25 questions, but I have to, from a week or two ago, I have some questions that I never finished from the other show, 6 questions. So I'm going to do those first because those people have been waiting patiently, and then we'll get into this week's letters. So for those of you who don't know, this show is a live advice show. It's been going on for about 15 years. And what we do is people write in advance. I read the letters from a document that my cousin has put together because that's the way we do it, so that when I read the letters, this is the first time for both of us. You were hearing it the first time. I'll know no more about it than you do. So whatever we read, don't ask me, well, what about this? I don't know. All I know is what they put on this letter. Okay. So we know exactly as much about each of these individuals as the other does. So this is a different time for me. Usually I start my shows on Sundays at 4, but since I had this extra questions, I thought, we better get started a little bit earlier because I don't know how long it's going to take. So let me see. Where did I leave off? I think I did 30 questions as I recall. So I should be starting with question number 31. This is from 2 weeks ago or a week ago or something. Anyway, this is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from Yonkers, New York. Summary of issue. Was I wrong to not go to my sister's 40th birthday party? Hold on a second. Let me unclamp these. He says, my sister just turned 40. This past Friday, she had a little hotel celebration get-together with just immediate family. I didn't know about it until the day of. It started at about 6 p.m. I had to work that day, and I also had a big exam to study for over the weekend for my anatomy class. The way my father explained it to me was he thought it was just going to be like an all-female event, which was wrong. Turned out that it was both males and females. My dad had no intention of going either for that reason, and because he just got off work and was tired too. I sent my sister a text the morning of her birthday to wish her happy birthday, and I also got a card for her Wells with $60 in cash. I left the card with my mother with the cash aside so she could take it to the event with her to give to my sister. My mother texted me and told me, you and your dad can bring the card when you come to the hotel. My mother was essentially trying to encourage us to go. We ended up not going, though. My dad picks me up from work right after he gets off. Then called my mother and came up with an excuse and said that I still wasn't off work yet, so we probably can't make it, which was not true, but he just was trying to make up an excuse. When my dad told my mother that, she was really upset. She felt like it was a bad excuse. She also said, Sonny needs to give the card to her himself. My brother called me a couple of hours later and asked if me and my dad were coming, and I told him, I'm not coming, I have to study. And he said, okay. My mom said family comes first. The next day, my brother told me that he thought it was messed up that me and my dad didn't come to my sister's birthday. He said all of our immediate family showed up except for us. My brother said, I'm going to start forcing you to drive whether you like it or not because you could have gone to the celebration on your own with the car. Dad picks you up in. I have my driver's license, but I don't really drive due to anxiety. I told my brother driving really doesn't have anything to do with it. I could have caught an Uber there. He responded by saying, people are going to start thinking something's wrong with you for being 27 and not able to drive. Your little cousins are passing you up and driving before you. You need to be driving by now. You need to be able to get yourself around by now. I told him I didn't really know about this event and how important it was supposed to be. It wasn't really discussed. I felt bad afterwards for not going, and I feel like I owe my sister an apology. Am I wrong for this? How should I handle my family? You should tell them to kiss the inside of your ass. And let me tell you why. If your sister, it's her party, right? You didn't know about it till the day of, and you found about it some third-hand person, your daddy. If your raggedy sister really wanted you at her party, she would have picked up the phone and said, Sonny, as that's what they call you in this letter, Sonny, I'm having a 40th birthday party. I know you're busy studying and whatever. Can you spare 30 minutes and just come and help me celebrate my 40th birthday? I only have one 40th birthday, and I would like you to be there so I can take a picture of everybody, all the family. And I'm sure you would have come, but it would have been a personal invitation. She never even invited you. And that's what you should be going back to tell your family. And you don't owe her an apology. Because like I said, if she really wanted you there, she would have invited you herself. She didn't. So that's your number one way out of this, is to say, well, I feel like if it was such an important event, she would have invited me herself. And since she did it, and I had to hear about it through the grapevine, well, she heard about me not coming through the grapevine too. And so now we even. These people are be tripping. It's thinking you're supposed to jump through hoops. And when you have your future's at stake here. Anatomy class, I took anatomy class. That was, oof. It was horrifying, but I did make it through. It actually came in handy later when I was, working as a trainer, that I did know some anatomy. It actually was useful. But when I was taking the class, I was like, what the hell is this? Who needs to know all this if they're not a doctor or a nurse or like a physical therapist or something? That was it. Yeah. Hey, Anna. Yeah. Family parties is always some drama because somebody don't like somebody, or somebody, look at somebody crazy, or somebody's kids destroy something and then the parent don't want to pay for it. It's always something. So I'm with him. But like I said, the main problem I'm having with this is that the sister did not invite her little brother herself. And then going to be trying to get an attitude about it. And notice he still doesn't hear from her. Everybody else is calling him, complaining about it, not her. So I really wouldn't pay them no mind if I were you, sir. I would just ignore them completely and tell them, yeah, but when you have a birthday party, you want me to come, make sure you invite me yourself, and then I'll come. But this kind of thing, she didn't seem like she didn't care if I was there or not because she didn't invite me. So there you go. Now let's move on to question. This was question 32 from a week and a half ago. Male, 22 to 27 from Brownsville, Texas. I have an issue. My girlfriend wants kids, but I'm not ready. How do I get her to understand? You say, all you have to say, this letter is going to be easy. All you have to say is, when you're my wife, then we will have kids. Until then, I'm not trying to be no baby daddy. And you're not going to be a baby mama, not by me. End of story. The end. Comprende, squelched, nada. We ain't doing that. No bueno. All those things. You say all those things. Because she's trying to get you to be a baby daddy. She wants kids. We've been together for 2 years, he says. She brings up it like in passing, like she sees kids' clothing while we're out shopping. She brings up the topic every week or two. And I'm sick and tired of it. But long story short, she's 9 years younger than her older sister. The focus has never really been on her. She did not have the best childhood and wants to correct what her parents couldn't. She wants to be a young mom. And 30 in her mind is ancient. I'm not ready right now. I tried to talk to her about this, but seemingly to no avail. I recently just got back to studying, which means I would graduate when I'm 27, a much better age to be a dad for some children, if you ask me. My reasons are I don't want kids right now, mostly stems from my own childhood. My parents never had any money. I never felt like I was missing out or anything. However, my parents always somehow made me feel like a burden economically. Later in my teen years, I developed a bad gambling addiction that I still battle with today. I never want to make my kids feel like they are a burden. I want my children to feel mostly carefree, if not completely without worries. But in our case, financially, we are just getting by. Our budget's not set up for savings, which really fucks with my head. And we can't go and splurge whenever we feel like it. In other words, we only buy need to haves, never would like to haves or nice to have. Emotionally, I want to be in control of my own life before committing to a child. I want to be able to control my gambling urges. I want to be in our own house. I want to live comfortably and not stress about income and expenses. Finally, I don't see 27 to 30 as ancient. I see it as a perfect age to have children. Sorry for any typos. Thank you in advance for your thoughts. I just don't know what to say to her to make her understand. This is what you do, though. You don't screw her. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't do it. Because the second that you do, she's going to turn up accidentally pregnant. And then you're going to be stuck. Please think with your big head. I mean, you sound like you are, you're very logical, very mature approach to the responsibilities and obligations of parenthood. It's no joke. I like that you fully understand what you're going to be doing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, India. So, dude, you better keep it in your pants. The best thing you could do right now is break up with her. Because otherwise you're going to be stuck. You're going to be a baby daddy because she wants a kid. Even though you keep saying, no, no, no. If you sleep with her, see, knowing that that's how kids get born and you dip and dab and you do that anyway, you're an idiot. Because all this stuff that you just said, it all makes sense. It's perfectly logical and reasonable for you to think this way. I think it's very mature. But what you're not looking at is the fact that you got a woman that you living with, sleeping with, whatever, dating, whatever y'all doing, and she wants a kid and you don't, the risk is very high that she's going to figure out a way to get herself pregnant. I mean, you would be doing it, but, without your consent. So I'm telling you right now, don't be relying on no condoms and all that kind of stuff. You better switch up with this girl and say, look, you want some shit that I'm not really interested in. I just got back in school. I'm trying to build for my future. So what we need to do is break up. And that's what you do. Because otherwise you're going to set yourself up in a trap. She's going to get what she wants out of it, and you're going to get nothing but misery because all your dreams will go up in smoke. I'm trying to tell you, you young men don't want it. You guys just think that you can just screw around with impunity and that things are going to go your way. If you don't want a baby with a woman, you don't want the baby right now, don't do baby making activities. As much as harsh as that may sound, you're like, oh, but I'll be horny. Yeah, but you still be with no child support. So, you pick one, a few weeks or months or whatever of discomfort with nobody in your bed while you lock down your degree, or you keep her around and end up a baby daddy and have to drop out of school to get, more full-time work because it's going to be expensive as hell to have a kid. Just, you don't believe me? Look, while you researching, look and see how much the diapers cost, the formula, and daycare for infants. You look at that and you tell me if two people who's barely making it right now can afford to have a kid. Let's get fucking real. He already gave her that talk. That he already told her that he don't want a baby. So that, that's she's understand English. That's not the issue. The issue is she's trying to pressure him into being giving her a baby, and he's saying no. So when you say no, you got to back your no up with action, right? That means you don't sleep with her. And if you're not going to be sleeping with her, there's no point in dating her and calling her your girlfriend because she's not going to understand. Better get rid of this cow quick, like today. Question number 33. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Pueblo, Colorado. Time of issue. I'm engaged to a man with addictions. How do I navigate this? Is she serious right now? Okay. I'm 29, my fiance is 30, and we've been together for 12 years, and we're getting married next year. Okay, you want to marry someone who has addictions. I'm trying to wrap my mind around, and you know it. For most of our relationship, he struggled on and off with going to drugs, alcohol, and gambling as vices. And yet you stayed with him. Wow. He's been in places where he doesn't use these at all, and he's doing really good. And he's been in places where he spirals and lies to me about when this happens. I always know when he lies because I know him so well. Lately, things haven't been good, and he's done C a few times and lied to me about it and gambled away $2,000 in the past 2 weeks. I don't know what to do because I know that deep down he's a good guy and that he wants to do better for himself, but can't help his temptation sometimes. But I also don't know if this is going to keep going on forever and that I'm being a pushover. Yes, not pushover is a nice word. It's more like idiot, fool, dummy. Those are the kind of words I would use, the adjectives that would more accurately describe your behavior towards this man. I have so much compassion for him about this stuff, even though I don't have vices like drugs, gambling, or alcohol, I do go to controlling and being OCD about food as a coping mechanism. Okay, so just two nuts together. That's what you're telling me. So even though his is worse than mine, I know we both have our own vices. I don't feel like I can talk to friends or family about this because I don't want them getting any impressions of him if we go forward and stay together. So that's why I'm writing to you. I'm looking for guidance on how to I can navigate this. A part of me sees a future with him and thinks he would be a great dad, but another part of me is scared. I'll never trust him and that he won't change. I don't really know what's the best thing, but the best thing to do is. Do I stay and work through things or am I dumb and should I move on? You should have moved on as soon as you found out he had these problems. First of all, let me tell you something. Nobody who is an addict, and I mean this across the board, I don't care what the addiction is. Nobody who is addicted to something, some third thing, or in his case, fourth, fifth, and sixth thing, can ever really love you. They're not even loving and taking care of themselves. So I'm not sure what it is these women who stay with these kind of guys and the guys that stay with them kind of women are thinking. What is it that you really think you're getting out of this situation? This person can't give you anything. They can't even give to themselves. What their involvement is and their love is whatever it is they're addicted to. That is their number one main squeeze. It ain't you. So you, lady, and then you want to sit up here and talk about, he would be a great father. Don't you know that these kind of things are hereditary? Like alcoholism and stuff that tends to run in families. People have a propensity towards it, and it's been linked to genes and chromosomes. It's genetic. So people will have the gene for addictions. Not to say it will manifest, but it's there. And you got a man who's got like 4 or 5 things wrong with him. Plus, he's been using all these street drugs. So who knows what it's done to his body? And you want to sit up there and have him father a kid for you? Are you out of your mind? This is the last person that you should be talking about has potential to be a good father. He is a fucking loser. Okay? And then what you gonna do? He gambles away all the money. You on maternity leave trying to heal from giving a birth and can't work. And then he gonna gamble all the money and y'all end up evicted, homeless, no food in the refrigerator. You can't keep the lights on and you got a newborn baby. Do you sound crazy? Have you even really thought about what you wrote here? Oh Lord. She been with the fool for 12 years though. And she ain't figured it out yet. Oh, am I being dumb? If you have to ask somebody if you're being dumb, you should already know the answer to that question before you even send this letter in. I don't even know what to say. All I see here is you making one huge mistake after another, and you're going to stay with this fool, and he's going to break you all the way down. And then you're going to get a chance to see what I'm talking about. I don't mess with people that have addictions. I don't even like smokers. No matter what they smoke it, I can't be around you. I don't want to be bothered. I like people who have control of themselves, mentally, spiritually, financially, physically, psychologically, all of that. Have some self-control. When you start being addicted and you need substances, to distract you from the realities of your life, there's nothing here for me, sir. I got to go. Yes, but I don't understand. Like we didn't used to know, like when I was young, we didn't know about genetics. They hadn't really done all this stuff now that they do with DNA and, they can go in and do fetal testing and figure out diseases the kid has in utero. All that stuff was invented later. You know what I mean? I was like a young teen or stuff by the time that stuff started really coming to the fore. So it's like the young women today have the option. They have all this knowledge about how to choose a man that's going to give them the best options and their children the best options. This knowledge that we did not have before, like I said. So you see somebody who's got mental problems, he got ADHD, he got all kind of stuff, he can't learn nothing. He's addicted to different things. He got like crossed eyes or something. One arm is shorter than the other, 6 fingers and 6 toes or some shit. I mean, whatever it is, look at that and understand that can go into your kid's gene pool. Do you want a kid that's going to have problems and come out behind the 8 ball from the get-go? It's one thing if you don't know this is what they call it, not the dominant. What's the other kind of gene? But anyway, it's like you don't really, know. It's like it just lies dormant, and then suddenly in one generation it pops up, and then somebody be like, oh yeah, great granddaddy so and so I heard had something like that. Okay, so it skipped like 5 generations, and then something, suddenly it pops up. That's you don't know. Recessive. Thank you, India. You don't know. And it's like a shock and a surprise. But if you can see it, it's in the person who's going to be fathering your kid, and you opt to have a baby with that person. Why are you doing that to that kid? You're messing that kid up before it even gets a chance to take his first breath. I don't know what people be thinking. People are like, well, you're speaking eugenics. I don't give a fuck what you call it. It's just good sense. If you see somebody's fucked up, why are you going to have a kid by a fucked up person? Then your kid's going to be fucked up too. That's what that is. And you want to call it eugenics, you call it whatever you want to. But I'm just saying, it don't make no sense to do that. Kids have a hard enough time just growing up safe and sound in these days, and with all these people and weirdo people like Puffy after them all the time. So it's like, why would you make your kid just be a victim? Just come out all messed up, and you would have done that intentionally. Why would you do that? Let's move on. Question 34. Remember, this is not from tonight. I'm going to start on those questions after I finish these. This is from a couple of weeks ago. I'm finishing up a column that was 36 questions. I only did 30. So this is number 34. This is a female 22 to 27 from Quebec, British Columbia, Canada. The male 28 to 34. Summary of issue. Deb, I need advice on how to handle grocery shopping between my boyfriend and I. I feel like I do the majority of shopping with little help. And the things I do buy aren't shared fairly, and I have to constantly buy more. Okay, so he's a sponge. I'm 27, my boyfriend's 31, and we've been together for almost 2 years, and we've been living together for about 6 months. I know it seems soon, but we've known each other a long time prior to dating, so I thought it was a good move. Well, now you're finding out that it wasn't right. But honestly, I'm getting frustrated with how we handle groceries, but I'm not sure how to go about it. I'm trying to eat healthier. Typically, I go for fresh foods and tend to frequently grocery shop because stuff goes bad fast and needs to be cooked quickly. I probably shop every 2 weeks for food. 2 weeks? That's not frequently. He tends to go once a month or once every other month. What? Should I shop every couple of days? I don't know what y'all be doing. So typically we buy our own food for ourselves, and when he goes, he buys me a couple of things. When I get stuff, he always has a list for me to grab. We also share some of our food with each other and say we can have some of what each other bought. But these are the areas I'm frustrated in. She gave like 3 points. Number one, I feel like I'm the one who leaves the house more for groceries. We both work from home, and I leave the house more often. Well, then stop doing that. Number two, this puts me in a position where I'm always asked, hey, can you grab me this? And I'm rarely paid back for it, so I feel like I'm carrying the groceries for 2 of us. Get the money in advance before you get it. That's a very simple solution. Number three, then even when I buy things for myself and he likes them too, he tends to hit them hard, and I barely get that food that I paid for. Yeah, see, no, I'd be going to his wallet to get my money back. The last straw was this morning. I had bought turkey sausage patties, so I have breakfast sandwiches for the week to go with my bagels. This week is stressful. I worked overtime and I only get 1 day off for Thanksgiving. Better than not having any off, I guess. And so many family get-togethers, I am burnt out to begin with. But this morning, he takes the last sausage patty, and I'm screwed out of my breakfast tomorrow. I jokingly said that he should buy me breakfast since I won't have any. But now he's pulling out random old stuff from the freezer I could have, or saying I could have Thanksgiving leftover. Well, just like you could have had that, he could have had that too. Right? Did you remind him of that? Don't be eating my stuff, clown. You go and you want some leftovers, somebody eat leftovers, it should be you. Because I bought that for me. You good. I'll tell you my story about when I lived with a clown who tried that stunt. I specifically asked to have 8 patties from the bag because I have 8 bagels. There were 14 in that bag, but I only had 5. And me, the person who worked overtime, had very little sleep because of stress and gets only 1 day off for Thanksgiving, has to make do, while he didn't work overtime and has 5 days off. The only time I could go get breakfast is in the morning in sub-freezing temperatures before I log into work, because everywhere is closed Thanksgiving, which is amazing for them. They deserve the day off, and this happening is not their fault. I need tips on how to resolve this. I guess my biggest issues are that I feel like grocery shopping is a bit uneven. I buy for myself and him, and the things I do buy for myself are not off limits and get eaten before I get a decent amount and have to shop again. Well, that's because you let them get away with that shit. What do you think? What do you want? I'll tell you what I did to the boyfriend I live with. Let me tell you how this went down. That clown. Okay, so the first time when we first moved in together, we went shopping together because you got to buy spices and all this old stuff here. So um, you know, aluminum foil, soap, laundry. We bought everything. It was hundreds of dollars. So we split that down the middle. Okay, so then he's came with the brilliant idea. Well, let's just, let's go grocery shopping. Like, each week we'll take a turn. Okay, we had just gone shopping, right? So everything was full. So he takes the first week and he comes back with one bag with like some fish in it or something, a 6-pack of beer, a baguette, and some brie cheese or something. I mean, fancy shit. And I'm just looking at it. I didn't say anything. Okay, so now, of course, now it's 2 weeks later. So the initial groceries that we had got are gone, pretty much gone. So he expects me to go to the grocery store and restock all the stuff back the way it was. So I'm looking at the cost for me that would have been. So he spent probably, I don't know, $30. And if I had to go and restock all that stuff, I would have been out of like $60, $70. I'm like, no, we ain't doing that. And he's like, well, that's what we agreed to do. I said, well, that's what you proposed. I didn't necessarily agree with it. I said, but let's just do this. Let's just, you cook for your dinner and I'll cook my dinner. Let's just do it that way. So what I did now, I don't know about you, down in Houston at that time, they used to have some of the most fabulous happy hours that you could ever. I mean, you pay like $1 and they have like a taco bar. The margaritas was $1. I mean, food. I mean, like food, not them little skimpy things that they give you here in California. I mean, like a spread with the rice and beans, queso. I mean, they would have shrimp sometimes. That would I have to pay an extra $1 for that. I mean, everything. Carnitas. I mean, it was just unbelievable. So for the women, for $2 or $3, $5 at the most, you could come home lit and completely full. Guess who started doing that? It was cheaper than buying groceries and it was more variety. I just hop around to different restaurant bars. And then every day I was coming home, I was like, burp, and he's like, well, what are you cooking? I said, I'm not cooking nothing. I already ate. So I did that for about 3 weeks. That clown was hungry, so hungry because he couldn't really cook like me. And he's like, well, let's just do this then. I'll buy the groceries and you just cook them. I'm like, that'll work. That'll work. And so that's what we did until the day I broke up with him and moved out. Because I was not going to get caught up in that. I could already see what the setup was going to be there. He'd be coming in the door with a baguette and some fucking cheese and a 6-pack. And I got to go shopping and get like lettuce and tomatoes and carrots and eggs and all that old stuff like mayonnaise and all that kind of stuff. Girl, I'm telling you. But I gained so much weight. But I didn't care because it was like a principle. I had to teach him a lesson. And so I did that. And I didn't, like I said, I'm eating for sometimes the buffets are free and you just buy your $1 margarita. Some places would have a free drink. I mean, it was just in Houston at that time. I don't know what it was, but the women they cater to the females. And then by us being there and we kind of half lit on them $1 margaritas, by the time the dudes came in, we was all like, hey, cutie, and all like that was a game for them. And then the guys would buy more drinks and be, happy to be there because all these women that was half high women was in there. And so that was a game, but I used that. I made good on that. And he was so upset. He did not think of what to do. He didn't know what to do. I'm like, you must have forgot I'm from California, from the hood. I'm not going out like that. I just watched him. I peeped that game, like I said, the first week. He came in there with that goddamn baguette and some damn brie cheese. I mean, I eat brie sometimes, but it's not like, I'm not going to be making a whole meal out of that. You know what I mean? I'm like, this clown, I don't know who he think he's dealing with. He must have forgot I'm from San Francisco. We don't play that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that was interesting. So he learned real quick. And both sides of his stomach was touching. He was like, oh, but I'm so hungry. I'm like, sound like a person problem. Oh, them tacos I ate was good. Them enchiladas was fire. And them shrimps, I think I'll go back there tomorrow. And it was only for the women. So he would have had to pay. So it was interesting. So anyway, that's my story of how I dealt with a similar situation. What it sounds like for you, though, is you are going to have to either get you a separate refrigerator with a lock on it, or you're going to have to move out because this is not sustainable. Okay. And you don't sound like the type that could be such a savage like me and let that clown starve to death while you do something else. That was my thing. He was going to starve. I didn't care. Question 35. This is a male in the 18 to 21 age group from Phoenix, Arizona. The female's 18 to 21 as well. Some have issues. My girlfriend wants to text 24/7 and I feel overwhelmed. I am 21 and she is 20 and we've been talking for almost 10 months now. She's amazing and super loving, but the only thing I struggle with is how much she wants to stay connected all the time. Deb, and he put like a whole bunch of exclamation marks. She used to do that thing you warned us about not doing, insisting we sleep on the phone every night. But I told her it wasn't healthy because it made the nights we couldn't do it feel like, oh, so you don't want to stay on the, wow, what is this? What, oh, you don't want to stay on the phone because you're doing that or because you're playing games, or she would say, okay, good night, but I sleep better with you on the phone. She also told me that she felt like that was the only time we can deeply connect because we text all day too. And we would talk about the things that we talked about over text, but in the end, we stopped. Now it feels like she shifted to want to text 24/7 instead. She messages me every 30 minutes asking WYD or giving me constant updates like I'm walking with my dad or we're buying this and that. I like texting her and we have good conversations, but I also value some time to myself. If I don't reply enough or in detail, she asks me WYD again or make me feel like I'm not giving her enough attention. I don't know if I'm overthinking, but this constant texting is starting to feel like a lot. How do I set boundaries without upsetting her? You don't worry about upsetting her, right? Aren't you upset? Aren't you upset? That's why you wrote this note, right? This letter, advice letter, because you're upset. So I'm trying to figure out why you think your upset is less important than hers. What you do when she says, what you doing, saying I'm minding my business. Stop texting me so much. I'll talk to you tonight. That's all you have to say. You set the boundaries here. Just because someone sends you a text does not mean that you have to respond to it. Trust me, because everybody sends me, they know. Don't even think about it. Just tell me what it is you want to tell me by text, and I'll get back to you in a day or two when I finally get around to reading it. Because I'm not glued to my phone. Sometimes my phone is in my car, rolled off the seat onto the floor. I don't even miss it. I don't care. I don't really be tripping on my phone like that. So, so here she messages you every 30 minutes, what you doing? Same thing I was doing 30 minutes ago, working. She's like, well, I'm walking with my dad. I don't give a shit. We're buying this and that. So what? Why are you telling me this? This is boring. You start saying things like that to her. Yeah, it's going to hurt her feelings, but it'll make her wake up. Nobody cares about that. She's driving you crazy with that stupid stuff. But yeah, I'm glad you woke up about that sleeping on the phone thing. She's like a Klingon, like from Star Trek, just clinging like Velcro, just ridiculous. But you need to tell her, this all this texting and all this stuff you want to do to stay connected is too much. You need to back off. You don't even give me a chance to miss you. You just like all up in my face all the time, and it's making me feel choked and stifled. I don't like it. I need some space. You're going to keep this up until we break up. And then you're going to have all the space in the world. So I suggest you back up and just stop this. This is ridiculous. It's too much. And tell her. Either you slow down this shit or you going to have nobody. Well, it won't be me. You have somebody else doing it. But it won't be me. I don't know. I couldn't take it. I had a guy I was, quote, talking to that worked. He was a fireman. And, unless they cleaning the engines or, doing something or fighting a fire or in a training or something, they pretty much, just chilling at the firehouse. So he had a lot of time to talk. And at that time I was working for Net Noir. So I was working at home, and I went to the office like once a week, but working at home mainly. And I was busy. I had stuff to do. I had deadlines. I was working as the online marketing manager. So I managed a team of graphic artists and chat room hosts and stuff like that, to keep the channel alive. It was an AOL channel. And so I was busy. I was constantly busy, just busy every day. And he wanted to stay on the phone, just talking about nothing. His theories of life and all this other shit here. Well, the first day or two, that might have been somewhat interesting. But then I said, okay, is this going to be a pattern? Is this what he thinks is going to happen every day? So I had to put the brakes on that. I'm like, we can't do this. I can't talk to you. I need my phone free to talk to, to my business people. And so he was all affected and like feelings all hurt and stuff. I was like, Kanye shrug. And the final question of the last column that I didn't finish up was question 36. This is a female in the 50 to 56 age group from Sheffield, England in the UK. Summary of issue. I told my mother that her husband is no longer welcome in my home. Ooh. I recently called my mother and let her know her husband's not welcome in my house anymore. She has been with this guy for about 25 years. They're in their late 60s and early 70s now. I've hated him from the moment we met. My son, husband, and myself have been putting up with his disrespectful behavior for years. The few times I've tried speaking with my mom about it, she gets very defensive, and I feel that she thinks I'm making things up. Her husband has told me he's only with my mom for her money. Wow. He said that to you? He's been verbally abusive to my son, and you didn't clock him? And most recently told my husband, who has a chronic illness, that he was a drug abuser, which couldn't be further from the truth. I finally had enough and told my mother I wasn't willing to allow him to do this to my family anymore. You shouldn't have tolerated that shit the first time. She wanted examples, so I told her the 3 listed above. I could have given her dozens. She completely taken his side and says I should put my petty issues aside and that she can't believe I would throw away my family over this. I love my mom and I don't want to lose her, but I'm pissed. She's always taking his side, even when it's completely obvious he was in the wrong. Really, how can I allow him to be in her lives when I know he won't change? In fact, will probably get worse. Why should I subject my family to his abuse and disrespect for the sake of, quote, the family? I know she loves her husband, and I'm not wanting or expecting her to cut ties with him. When we talked, I told her that we would just have to figure out a new way to proceed with a mother-daughter relationship, minus her husband. Any ideas on how we can possibly make this work? Nope, it's not going to work. You basically are about to be no contact with your mama. You haven't seemed to accept that yet, but it's like you have to choose between your mother and your son and husband. And to me, this is a no-brainer because she definitely ain't chose you. She chose him. So you should be doing the same. You should be choosing those 2 people in your house, just like she's choosing that monkey in her house. Okay? So you say, oh, you're going to call her back and you're going to say, well, Mom, it's very unfortunate, but it looks like this is the last time you and I will be talking until he dies, or you do, because I'm not going to be dealing with that clown. I'm not going to let him verbally abuse my kid. I'm not going to let him talk crazy to my husband. He's not going to disrespect me. And so that means that he's not going to be around. We're not going to be around him. I'm not coming to your house and you're not coming to mine, not with him. So, you've chosen him. So that's it. Thank you for raising me. It's been wonderful knowing you, and I wish you the best. And then you hang up and you block her number. Can people do that? Absolutely. Is it harsh? Probably. Does Deborah care? Not in the least. Because I'm telling you, somebody would have said some crazy shit to my kid. Y'all would have had to come get a GoFundMe to get me out of prison because I would have jumped on them. Probably hit them with something. I went and got my gun and started, having a little dance-a-thon. And they hopping around trying to get away. Because I just can't even imagine me letting someone impact my child mentally and emotionally like that. So you got to make a decision. It's going to be your mama or your husband and your son. Which one is it? Because you can't have both. Now we move into this week's column. Those of you listening on other platforms, if you want to come over to the YouTube channel, is YouTube, youtube.com. And then in the top, you type in Debsterism. See, Debsterism is at the bottom of the screen there under my name. That's the name of the channel here on YouTube, Debsterism. And come over here and join the chat over here. Because I can't see what you're typing on the other platforms. But the people here are very friendly, and everybody's been around for a while. Everybody knows how to act. And so occasionally we'll get some new person coming here clowning, but they don't tend to last very long because they get dragged. Because we don't take that kind of nonsense here. Everybody is respectful, even if we don't agree all the time. And I know they don't agree with me all the time either. But that's not the point. I mean, we interact with each other like mature adults. Okay, we're going to talk about the issue and we're going to have our opinions, our thoughts and stuff. And then sometimes we agree and sometimes we don't. But everybody is always done with respect. There's no name calling. There's no, attacks on anybody. We don't do that here. Just to let you know, it ain't that kind of channel. Don't tolerate that nonsense. Okay, so here we go with this week's show. Our usual 25 questions. Question number 1 of this week's show. This is a male, 22 to 27, from San Carlos, California. Summary of issue. Do you think as a boyfriend that you are obligated to pay for your girlfriend's maintenance, such as nails, lashes, hair, and put gas in her car? There was this girl on a dating website that had in her profile saying that if we swipe right on her profile to make sure to have, quote, maintenance money, end quote. Then she went on to name a few things that she expects to be maintained while in a relationship. I don't mind doing 1 or 2 of the items from the list on occasion, but she made it seem like every 2 weeks. Is this what some women are really prioritizing? Well, probably, but it sounds like those women, those femininity channel preaching people that think, men are supposed to take care of them and demand, that they be treated with their feminine nature or some shit. I don't know. I only know about what I heard, from the channel visitors here, third hand. I've never listened to one of them firsthand because it just sounds stupid to me. But are you obligated to pay for it? No. Is it a nice gesture that you would do sometimes? Absolutely. The guy, I dated this guy that lived, I was in San Francisco at the time. He lived in Palo Alto. And he used to want me to come to his house every weekend, spend a weekend with him. Well, even though, I think the car I was driving, I think I had a Honda Civic at that time. And he wanted, that's about a 45-mile trip. And so I'm putting, wear and tear on my car and then using up a lot of gas. I'm like, wait a minute. I said, no, I'm not going to come. And he's like, well, why not? I can't come there. I said, no, you can't, because I'm staying with my parents still. And so then he's like, well, okay, I'll put the gas in your car and everything. So then what he started doing was he took over the maintenance of my vehicles. That's the most mileage I put on my car. So I would drive down and he would take the car, get the car detailed, do the tires and stuff. And every so often he got the oil change. He got me a tune up. And then at a certain point, he put 4 new tires on the car. Now, see, that is the kind of maintenance I'm talking about, because he knew that was basically putting me in a position where I was losing something, which is, the value of my car without additional mileage, so that he could get something. And so when he thought about it, he's like, okay, yeah, let me take this. So plus he was working as an engineer. He had all kind of money and stuff. And I was making some little part-time job or something. I didn't have no money, not like that. So in a case like that, it made sense. One time, another guy wanted me to go to his company party with him. And I'm like, I don't have no money for that, So he paid for me to get my hair done, get my nails done, and he bought me an outfit because he wanted me to look a certain way when he introduced me to his boss and coworkers. I'm like, okay, that's on you, but I'm not going to be going broke trying to impress nobody at your job. You out your mind. And so he said, oh, you're right. So then he, we went shopping, he got all this stuff. And it was one outfit, I already had shoes. I didn't need shoes. And then he got my hair done, and then he got my nails done. He got his nails done too. And I think, with some guys, they don't want to give you the money. They want to go with you because they want to make sure that the money's spent the way that they, that you told them you're going to. I was fine with that. I didn't care. Because I just told them, I can't ball like that. That's just like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for an event that is meaningless to me. And so he's like, well, it's important to me, so let's do this. So that's what we did. So yeah, it's not a requirement, but in a certain situation, like you dating a woman who's got a kid and she needs a babysitter, and her money's tight, and you want her to go someplace with you, then you pay for the babysitter. So there's ways for the man to step up and be, helpful, but is he obligated to? No. So that's where with her, I would swiped. What is it? Swipe right. Okay, swipe the other way, left, because she just too demanding. That wouldn't work for me if I were a guy. Question number 2. This is a female, the 28 to 34 age group from Tacoma, Washington. Summary of issue. I'm thinking of leaving my relationship with my fiance because life is becoming a nightmare. What would you do? Well, if it's that bad, I'd definitely be out. Bear with me if the grammar or line of events is off or something. I'm exhausted and I don't have a lot of energy left to fight or even think, for that matter. Earlier this year, my long-term partner and I got engaged. He has 2 boys from his previous relationship, one's 7 and one's 9, and their mother, who's almost 30, has been an absolute nightmare from the beginning. At first, it wasn't that big of a deal, and I tried so hard to be nice and friendly with her, but she spat on that pretty much from the beginning. So I let it go and just ignored her. I've never tried to butt in on any disagreements between the two of them, and I've never talked down about her in front of the boys. I've also never tried to make them call me mom or make it seem like I was replacing their mother in any way. I've always tried to be warm to them and make them feel like our home was their home too. But 2 years ago, my partner and I had a baby. She's 2 now. And it seems like things with his ex and the boys have escalated, and it's been gradually becoming more awful. Before, the boys acted like normal little boys. They'd act up, but they did listen, and they seemed to respect me. We and the boys got along. We played together, and nothing seemed weird or bad. But after our daughter was born, they did a complete 180 and started becoming little terrors. They would come over and break things, steal things, destroy the walls and floors. I'm being dead serious with this one. They would even shit on the floors. Wow. I know some, okay, and they're 7 and 9. I know sometimes after new babies introduced, kids can act out, but this seemed a little much. We tried talking to them to see what was up, and they said, Mom told us we could do whatever we wanted when we came over, and we didn't have to listen to you because you're not our mom. Fiance talked to their mother about it, and she denied it. At one point last year, the oldest one, the 9-year-old, was grounded for the night from his game and then decided he was going to get up in the middle of the night, drag the 7-year-old out with him, and try to hike back to his mother's house because we don't get grounded there. The oldest has been to therapy, and his therapist suggested a few things, but neither the mom or my fiance has done them. Over time, the behavior just got worse to the point where animals are being harmed and killed by the oldest. Okay. And you got a 2-year-old, and you got somebody like that around your baby, you is nuts to stay there one day. He's even gone to make comments recently saying that he hated my daughter and wished she were dead. Okay, see, I didn't know it was going to be the next sentence, but that's just right where my mind went. He's told me I'm terrified of him. Fiance knows I'm terrified of him, and I've told him what the son has said about our daughter and me, but I'm not certain anything was done about it. Another red flag. Recently, I've been laid off, so money is tight. Fiance and his ex have 50-50 custody with the boys, and the boy's mother likes to drop them off at our house unannounced on her days with them and expects me to watch them so she can go do whatever she wants. She works one day a week as a server, so I don't know if she wanted to also do. I'm actually trying to find full-time work again, and they've dropped in the middle of video interviews. I didn't get those jobs. When asked for feedback, they told me my home life seemed too inconsistent. I've asked her to give me a heads up because I have interviews scheduled and have meetings at the state unemployment office that I have to go to. But she continues to do what she wants. Fiance knows about this and has talked to her, and nothing has changed. Start calling Child Protective Services. You're not their mother. Okay? Fiance, you're not even married to him. So you have no legal authority to have custody of those children. And her dropping them off when you told her not to is abandonment. So you call the police and you say, come and get these kids. She dropped them off here. I told her not to. I told her I had something to do. And I'm not their mother. I'm not their stepmother. I'm no relation to them. And I don't want to watch them. I told her this. And she did it anyway. Come get them. That's what I would do. Okay, so then she goes on and on. So the child support is getting raised up to $900. She requested, but you're barely getting by. And even when I had my job, we weren't thriving. If he has to pay $900 a month, we'll lose our job, lose our house. When he asked her about it, she said, that's not my problem. You, her, and the baby can go homeless for all I care. I'm about the boys. I don't need the money. Her partner's name makes more than enough for us, but I could use that money to pay for their horses and dirt bikes. Wow. I come from poverty. I worked my way up through school. I don't think she'll stop. I'm starting to wonder if my daughter will have a better chance at a good life if I break off the engagement and just leave. I'm also scared of the son. He's violent, has repeatedly been suspended for school for being violent to other children. Then that comment about wishing my daughter were dead, I feel like I have enough evidence that if I did leave, I could get a court order to keep him away from my daughter. I'm so tired. I don't want to break up my family and do this, but I don't know if there's anything else I can do. My fiance hasn't been doing what the therapist has suggested. He's been ignoring all of these red flags. And I'm stuck watching them most of the time when I need to be doing job hunting stuff. And this whole situation has left me feeling used, ignored, scared, and defeated. I know that his ex being in our lives is only temporary, and that once the boys are 18, we no longer have to have contact with her, but that's about 10 years away. I can't imagine putting up with this for myself or my little one for 10 more years. Your baby won't make it to 10 years. Now with him carrying off animals and stuff, because she's going to be next. And then you're going to be like, oh, no, I should have done something about it. We had all the notice. We had red flags and we didn't pay attention. That's what you're doing. And you worried about and talking about we don't have no money. You're not married to this man. That's and them kids and that responsibility is not, it'll have nothing to do with you. You take yourself down to social services office or whatever, and you get whatever you can get to get the hell up out of there. Some child support. So, they're going to take child support from him. So make sure you get your court order in there too. Okay. Get your file of your child support. And then using the information that you got about the kids threatening you and killing animals and all this kind of stuff. Say you fear for your daughter's life. You want him to have, if he has visitation, it must be it must be supervised. So it will be away from that little boy. He is not to take that baby anywhere. And because you can't stop him from having visitation, but you can make it so that he has to pay for supervised visitation due to the threat of his son and her harming the baby. Then what you're going to do after that, what was I thinking? Oh, you're going to move somewhere. I don't know if you have a friend you can stay with a room with another single mom. So y'all just, her and her kid in one room, you and your kid, or if it's a 3-bedroom place, each of you two could have a room and the kids could share a room. I don't know how you're going to do this, but you need to start making some moves to do it now. As far as you going to do your interviews, don't you have a neighbor you could leave the baby with while you do an interview for 30 minutes or something? You don't know nobody? Whatever you do, you need to be out of the house so that if she comes by with those kids, you're not even there. You can do it, I don't know, library. I don't know what you're going to do. Think about it. What you can do, because they have respite care through social services too. They have job training programs, job assist, helping you find all kind of stuff, other kind of options, but you just got to get off your ass and reach out to them and let them know what your situation is. And then they'll help you with your kid. Yeah, family would be best, but it don't sound like, right now this is a dangerous situation for both of them. She needs to make some moves like tomorrow. There's no way in this world I would have my 2-year-old around some kid like that. 2-year-olds already are like, if you look at the FBI and what's the Department of Justice statistics on assaults of children, 2-year-olds, runaway number one age group that are hurt or killed. 2-year-olds. It's there in black and white. It's just, I don't know why, but that's statistically the most dangerous age for kids to be harmed. So, and you got a 2-year-old and you got a 9 or 10-year-old saying what he wants her dead. And you just sitting up there writing to me about it. You should have been gone. You should have been called the police. Should have been called Child Protective Services. You should have done something besides write a letter and fret and talk about my fiance. Remember, I told y'all when these girls get a fiance, they just lose their mind. Our sense of reason and intelligence seem to disappear. Once they say that word, they just go crazy. Lady, if you don't get your little girl out of this hot mess situation here. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would tell that mama, okay, this is not it's not the visitation day or time. If you leave your children here, I'm going to call Child Protective Services to have them come and picked up. Because basically what you're doing is abandoning them with someone who's not even a relative. And I told you, I don't want no responsibility for your kids. So you make a decision. But bitch, I'm telling you right now, by the time you make it 2 blocks away, I will already be on the phone with CPS telling them to come get your kids. And you talk to her bitch ass like that and watch what she does. She's not going to know what to do because she's used to bullying you and you just take it. I had to do my own cousin like that. She was stretched. I'm like, you must have forgot who your cousin is. I'm the number one bitch of this family. And you sitting up there thinking that you're going to run this kind of game on me? Think again. Luckily, her husband came and got him. But I was like, her estranged husband came and got his kids. I was like, you better come get them because that's the last shot. If you can't come get them, then they going to CPS. He broke his neck dropping what he was doing to come get his kids. I'm like, good for you. Good parenting. Yeah, I don't know what she's going to do, but this is a mess. I would not have put up with this. By the time the kids said it, I would have been gone. I called the police on them. Something would happen. Question number 3. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Woodbridge, New Jersey. The male, 28 to 34. Summary of issues. Should I cancel my wedding that's in 3 months? I just really need help. We are due to get married in February 2025. So that's okay. That's right around the corner. And I just don't know if what we are going through is pre-wedding stress or if the relationship is unsalvageable. We have been on the brink of breakup a few times in the last month. His behavior never changes. Golf and drinking take priority over me. His job is the most important thing in his life, and it causes so much stress. He is a police officer, and I worry that he sees his work colleagues as his family. He is out with them very often. Most recently, we got very close to breaking up. I said I needed more time with him, that I was feeling neglected, and he said things would change. He gets 4 rest days, and on those days, he went drinking and played golf. He did not spend any time with me. He said tonight we could go for dinner, then was annoyed that I wasn't ready at the time I finished work, then was in a bad mood and said we couldn't watch TV together because he needed to sleep. He was in a foul mood but kept saying nothing was wrong. He then said me asking him to talk to me and tell me what was wrong was that putting him in a bad mood. So it's my fault again. I am terrified of what people will say. My family will support me as will my friends, but I know people will judge me. I also fear for my mental health post-breakup. I don't think I will cope well at all. I also can't explain how terrifying I find the idea of starting again at almost 30. We have been together for 8 years. The thought of him moving on also makes me feel physically sick. I still love him a lot. He's not a bad person. He just has changed so much, and I really don't like who he is right now. Is this a phase, or has he changed beyond repair? P.S. We own a house together, but we have no children. I really need some help. Any advice gratefully received. See an attorney and start the paperwork process for you guys to sell the house and divide what equity you have, or for him to buy you out. Then you are going to take your little money, because you don't know how long y'all own the house, so you might not really have that much equity in it. And then you're going to move out and you're going to break up with him. Now, why would I say that? You say you've been on a breakup a few times in the last month. His behavior never changes. You put that in the letter. I'm looking right at it. But then in the end, you want to ask me, will he change? No, he's never going to change. He's a grown man. This is who he is. So either you accept it and keep your mouth shut and just keep dealing with it, or you change your life. But changing your life for the better, to make a change in it, to do something different, is all your responsibility. As long as you say that you're afraid and you're scared about your mental health, you put all these messages of weakness and lacking into your mind about yourself, then yeah, you're going to fail. All the things that will happen. Whatever you believe about yourself is what will manifest. If you believe that you will sail right through this and that you deserve better, then you won't look back at him. But instead, you're sitting there fretting, talking about, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be lonely. But the main thing you need to handle is the house. Yeah, he can go be with his boys. But I don't know. I really wouldn't want to be with a cop anyway. They tend to be abusive. Not all of them, of course, but profession, either it attracts guys with that kind of mindset or they turn like that from the job. I can't really figure out, it's like the chicken or the egg, which came first kind of question. I don't know the answer to that. All I know is what I see. And, they forget that they ain't running shit at the house. You don't come in here with your cop attitude trying to boss people around like you like God Jr. or some shit. Get out of here. So, that really wouldn't work for me. I don't like people telling me what to do, just regular. And so, even when they paying me, I don't like them to tell me what to do. So, that would never work. I couldn't have a cousin like that. Yeah, they have anger problems and they have control problems. They like to control people. And it's part of their job. They get to do that wearing their little badge and gun. But once you come home, motherfucker, you don't control shit. You better control your damn mouth. That's all you better control. So, yeah, I never was interested in any man in law enforcement ever. Question number 4. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Black from Ghana. The male is 18 to 21. Summary issue. How do I control my freeze response better? Hello. First, I love your videos and wish I had them as I was getting into my late teenage years. I've had so many creepy old men and disrespectful boys being inappropriate with me, I could write a novel. I will share your videos with all of my children from the moment they become teens. You make such an evil world worth living in. May God bless you in your works. Oh, well. Anyway, so to my actual question, I have taken your advice and I'm slowly getting out of my meekness and taking action when men disrespect my personal space or ask for my number. But I need more help, especially with my freeze response. How do I more develop the ability to face these creeps in the act and not just run away? Especially when 95% of the time I am trapped in place with no free access to just run, or would not be appropriate to call them out. For example, different Black men of different ages all feel a sick need to knee my butt in places where I can't just move freely. Knee your butt, such as on planes or in classrooms as I am schooling in university. The most recent one of my classmates who kneed my butt 4 times before I moved, thinking it was an accident, and I'm regretting not recording him to report him to my campus sexual harassment department, or to turn around and call him out. Now I go to class and sit in fear, monitoring if another random male wants to be freaky with me, since there's nothing I can do to stop attracting these predators aside from reducing my beauty and or being more attention seeking like. That's not going to do nothing. Girl, don't you know that they harass little kids that definitely don't have no sex appeal, and old women who don't have the sex appeal they claim they're looking for, nuns and everybody else? They just did you thinking this about something about the way you look or the way you dress or the way you act? It has nothing to do with that. They're just predators. And predators see everything as prey. And that's just it. It don't matter what you wear, what you age, nothing. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. So what I'm going to tell you this, okay, so you're in classroom, so I'm imagining that they had those kind of chairs where it's open in the back, like it's got a backrest, but then it's open and then there's a seat. So what you can do is bring a piece of wood with you. It might not be that comfortable, but it will protect you from this situation that you're talking about. And you put it in the back of the chair and then you sit down. Okay. So they're going to need something, and you can also, put a nail or something in it. And so when they go to knee this, okay, some sharp something, so they can knee that and get them to start bleeding. Oh, well, why were you putting your knee there? You know what I mean? If you're in a line and some guy is doing it, what I used to do is, because I had to do this on the bus one time, I had my tripod. And this white guy came, how you stand on the bus on Muni. Well, I guess any bus, but San Francisco is Muni. I'm standing there holding on the pole, and I had my tripod like this. And this guy, now it's all the space. He gonna come and stand right behind me and start trying to rub his dick on my butt. I took my tripod, and this was a Bogan tripod. Those things were heavy, and they have these like poker things, like it's got rubber cups. But if you roll them up, they have spikes, so it would be stable in ground, like earth. So the little thing was out. I took it and I smashed it back like that and poked the fuck out of him with those little pointy ends. And those are metal and they're sharp as hell. And he was like, oh, and then he moved. So, at some point though, the deer in headlights thing, it seemed to me from what I keep hearing from the advice column, from the letters coming in, that these kind of dudes depend on women to respond that way. What they don't anticipate is a woman who's going to turn around and say, motherfucker, back the fuck up and get off of me, you fucking pervert. Things like that. Or to respond with violence like I did, because I'm sure he had some puncture wounds in his side, because the little spikes were probably about an inch long and solid steel and pointed. And that's why they had those rubber cups that would cover it, which I was supposed to have covered while I was traveling, but something told me not to. And I'm glad I listened to my third sense, or whatever they call it, intuition. Yeah, that's what you can do now. And then in any instance in the future, I don't care. You don't need a recording. You just go and say what the person has done. And if enough women report this person for doing the same kinds of things, then the stories will start to, it'll be witnessed in itself. And once you put that person's name on the radar, you tell the professor, hey, this is what this dude is doing to me. And then the professor will start to keep an eye out. Right? But I would do that though. Get yourself a nice little piece of wood to fit in your backpack. You only need it to be as wide as the seat. So I don't know, say the seat is what? We usually about 18 inches or so, right? You only need it to be that wide, and you can carry it in your backpack. You slide in the back of the seat, you sit down. So it's not going to necessarily be that comfortable, but like I said, you're only there for the class for an hour or so anyway, so it's no big, you don't have to lean against it. It's there to protect you from this knee situation. And that's what you're going to do. So if they want to knee, they can knee that piece of wood. Yeah, that's why, they keep doing, but you ladies, I know this thing about women being nice and, not hurting men's egos and all the shit that's drilled into us as little girls. Please look at my videos on this channel about nice needs to die and how you got to stand up for yourself and boundaries and all, ways to be a queen. There's all kind of videos about standing up for yourself and it's setting boundaries and speaking up. You've got to do that. You cannot let these dudes treat you like that. And I know it's scary. It's hard when you have to, start doing it. But if you don't do it, you're going to be a victim for the rest of your goddamn life. Is that what you want? So that's the true choice. Either you buck up and find your voice and start using your words, or you're going to just stay a victim. Now, I can't help you either way. I can tell you how to do it, but you still have to be the one to do it. I can't do it for you. Okay? No need for you to be sitting in fear. I just told you what to do. Go get you that piece of wood and put a nail or two in that sucker. Some staples or something that's going to poke the fuck out of him if he tries to knee it. These dudes are just raggedy. As a mother, if I tell my son was doing some crazy, creepy shit like that, I would be so embarrassed. I would probably disown him. It's like, I didn't raise you to be like this. And it's like, what kind of disgusting shit is going on in your mind? I don't want to be anything to do with you. And people are like, well, you can't treat your kids like that. The hell I can't. One thing I'm not going to do is be in my position where I'm providing love and support to someone who does not love and support people who look like me. I'm not going to do it. You feel like if you could do that kind of shit to some little girl, then you could do it to some little girl in our family, and you could do it to your own daughters too. That's how I think about it, because that mentality about mistreating women is across the board. It can't be just you pick and choose. It's that you have this mentality that what you want is more important than what any woman's sanctity of her body or her respect. And where does it stop? Where did it start? So since we don't know where it started, we're not going to know if you're going to have a limit to that shit either. So you're not going to be around no little kids in this family. You're not going to be around no young ladies that I know, and you're not going to be around me. Get the fuck out. Yeah, my son would be disowned. I couldn't be bothered. People are like, oh, but I love my son. Don't seem like he's loving you too much because he knows you didn't raise him like that, and otherwise he would be respecting you and other women. But the fact that he thinks that's okay, he's a nasty little freak. And so you, as his mother, if you tolerate that shit and you still love him exactly the same, give him exactly the same, and treat him with the same support and everything, that means you're condoning that shit. That's what that means. That means he's not having no consequences because he's still getting everything the same from you, even though he's acting like that. Question number 5. This is a female in the 35 to 41 age group from Vista, California. The male's 28 to 34. So she's older. Okay. Summary of issue. My boyfriend let my new puppy off the leash without even thinking to ask, considering that it could be risky, and it's making me question our entire relationship. My boyfriend is 38 and I'm 31. No, wait, she's 38 and he's 31. Has ADHD and overall functions pretty well and has worked on a lot of the issues it causes over the course of our 2-year relationship with moderate success. But he's still so absent-minded sometimes, and it's compounded by a kind of carefree naivete that he sometimes has about the world. He lives very much in the moment and doesn't often register or appreciate very real threats that I'm more aware of, and it frankly stresses me out. For example, traveling in a foreign country with a culture known to be bad towards women was way too open and friendly, exchanging numbers with a stranger I got bad vibes from and couldn't pick up on any subtle cues that I was uncomfortable. Felt that I was being too negative and paranoid when I told him, and rarely has contingency plans ahead in the face of concerning future possibilities, etc. Okay, so you dating a fool. So what you want from me? He's younger than you. He got ADHD and he's stupid. Hello? What are you doing? Almost 40-year-old lady. I recently got a new puppy, a little less than a year old, who's pretty well behaved, but he was a stray, so he's a bit nervous. He's only been home a week. He's usually pretty helpful with training, and last week I was telling him how I want to work with the trainer for a while since it's my first dog, and I wouldn't ever consider leaving her off leash unless I'd worked with one on the necessary skills, and I felt extremely confident. I thought he was paying attention during this conversation, though I'm realizing more and more I can't always tell. Today, he walked her during my workday since he was off and tells me in the evening that he allowed her to run and play with other dogs in an unenclosed park area with her leash still attached, but him not holding it. So she was off leash for all intents and purposes. I was very upset, and he insisted that she did well and he was close by and could have grabbed the leash if anything happened. I explained that this was not okay, that he violated my trust, and that this is an untrained puppy who we have known for a week and is honestly insane to think he could predict her behavior. He apologized and said it would never happen again, but was quick to shut down talking about it, and I honestly don't trust that he understands how risky that was to do. I believe him that he'll never make that particular mistake again, but it's making me question his maturity and judgment and how well he's able to listen and retain things I say to him to such a degree that I've considered ending the relationship over. Well, you should have done that a long time ago. He has so many incredible qualities, man, 80% of the time he's amazing, yeah. But the other 20% is unpredictable, and things like this have me on guard a lot of the time. It's like he can be reliable, but not really reliable, which in some ways feels worse than not being reliable at all because I don't know what to do with it. We don't live together yet, but we were talking about moving in together this summer. You better not do it. But it scares me that things like this can happen because he just doesn't think. And I know we all do that sometimes, but I'm finding myself increasingly anxious that this person will invite a lot of stress and difficulty into my life. But I also feel it would be an enormous loss to end the relationship, especially as he has so many qualities I want that don't run into often. Am I overreacting, or is this a pretty bad sign, emblematic of a larger issue? Well, I'm going to tell you what would have made me turn tail and run. When you say you was in a foreign country that's known to be, not that friendly to women, and some stranger approached to get y'all's numbers and he gave it to him, that alone would have had me, in this day and age of sex trafficking and kidnapping and abductions and stuff of young women, there's no way in this world that would have passed by me and I would have been okay with that. Because see, now they're going to be calling, he's stupid, so he doesn't have that sense of danger. So they'd be like, oh, let me come over. Or why don't you guys come out and meet us there? And then next thing you know, your drink is spiked and you on somebody's ship somewhere and don't know what happened to where he is or nothing. Because he's stupid. So see, you have to think about that kind of stuff. Think about the environment of where you are and the possibilities of drama to happen. And then you do what you need to do to prevent those possibilities from occurring. But he don't think, he just going through life like, skipping like he's Little Red Riding Hood or something. So, you talking about, well, he's got this, he's an 80% man. That's not good enough. He need to be in the high 90s. Okay. So you trying to make do with that 80%, and that 20% that's bad is like an overwhelming 20%. It's going to affect each and every aspect of your life, from your financial situation to your sense of safety, the safety of the house, the safety of any occupants of the household. So, I mean, what you're talking about was 20%. No, but that 20% is huge. The weight of that 20% could put everybody and everything at risk because he's just stupid. So I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know why you're 38 dating a 31-year-old man who's got all these problems and what you think is going to happen here. You need to rethink this and not only don't move in with him, but break up. Move on. Find somebody else. Okay? He's got some incredible qualities. That's great. But he's got some super fucked up ones too. And those super fucked ones is going to take you on up out of here with the stress and the worry and the devastation that you're going to suffer because of him. You better pay attention. Question number 6. This is a male, 22 to 27, from Jacksonville, Florida. The female's 18 to 21. Summary of issue. My girlfriend is making me lose my mind. I lended her money. How do I get my money back and fix this? Good luck with that. So when we first got together, I lended her about $2,000. It helped her get out of a bad situation, so I was happy to do it, and we made it very clear that she was going to pay me back. Did you get that in writing? Did you get a promissory note? If you did not, then making it very clear that ain't good enough. Unless you have text that's saying that, okay, I'm going to lend you this $2,000, you're going to give me my money back, right? You have to have some kind of documentation. We're currently living both paycheck to paycheck, so it's going to be kind of tough for both of us. We've been together about 8 to 9 months. We've had our ups and downs, but I've never felt this way about anybody before. I'm completely aware how stupid that decision of giving her the money was. I just want to be loved. Very naive of me, I know. Sad to say, I haven't been paid back $1, and she will go out shopping every day and come back with purses, perfumes, and random stuff. Oh, so she's shopping, but she ain't giving you your money? Dude, you stupid. In the last month, she has gotten 2 speeding tickets and 1 paraphernalia charge, what works out to be hundreds of dollars. I've asked her not to get me anything for Christmas, just pay me back the money, as that would help me get out of being paycheck to paycheck since I'm a month behind. I bring it up around once a month, and I'm told that I bring it up nearly every day, that it takes time and that she's working on it. I haven't purchased anything for myself in months, not even socks, which I need. It's getting ridiculous at this point, and I'm sick of it. If you or any of the viewers has advice, it would be greatly appreciated. Yes, I'll tell you, like, you do it like I did with my cousin. I went to her where she was staying, and I took all her shit. So you go there, all them purses and all that stuff that she's buying, go and get that, put that stuff in some hefty bags, and start and go and sell it online, sell it on eBay. Get your money back. And tell her, you should have gave me my money. So you put the money buying all this shit here. I'm going to sell it and I'm going to get my money back. And you gonna like it. Because, you got the money to be shopping. You had the money to give me my money back. I don't know what kind of game you're trying to run, but we're not doing that. So that's what I would do. Well, yeah, that's ideal, but, he knows why he did it, and he knows it was a mistake. And, had she paid him back, I mean, because I've had situations with dudes, I borrowed money from them. I borrowed from them. I've never loaned men money, but I borrowed money from them, and I always make sure I paid them back. So it worked out fine because I'm a person of my word and I don't play games like that. If I'm in a tight spot and my back was up against the wall and you helped me, out the situation, I'm going to give you your money back plus a little extra, dinner or something. But I'm never going to do that kind of stuff to anybody because that's the kind of shit that spreads. And then when you really need help from somebody else, they're going to hear about how you never paid so-and-so back and they're going to say no. You see what I mean? So you have to think about that kind of stuff. And I was thinking about that because Oakland is small. Everybody know everybody. And word was spread. So, yeah. You live in paycheck to paycheck. And I would also, go and get them purses and whatever else she bought that's got some value. Perfumes and stuff. All that shit, you sell that shit on eBay. And then you're going to get yourself a second job. Because you young and you ain't doing shit that you sitting around watching TV and shit. You're going to get you another job, even if it's part-time. So you can start building up a savings and pay that, whatever them debts are you got down. You don't need to be relaxing and chilling, watching video games and all that kind of stuff. You're supposed to be on your grind at your age. You should be working like 17 jobs like a Jamaican. You're only working one job, you're a lazy bum, man. You're a lazy bum. Boy, do something with yourself. But go there and get them purses and that shit that she got. And sell it and get your money. Question number 7. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Ithaca, New York. Summary of issue, not cut out for this dating world. Does anyone else just have enough? I can't do it anymore. As much as it sucks being alone, it's much easier than a constant roller coaster of dating, of giving a bit of yourself only for it to mean nothing. Being sad and alone is easier than the stress of the dating game anymore. In my case, I am a man interested in women. I know women deal with the same with men. It's like nothing you do matters. You can be 5, 6, or 7 things right, yet anymore in this world, one wrong word or one text too many, and it's gone. You can be there for someone, think of them and their feelings, be a good person, and just like that, they are out. Hell, probably off to some toxic D-bag who makes them feel unsure or scared. Some guy that somehow has ability to not give a F. And there you go, off and running in your imagination. You don't know what she's doing. She might have went to women, or be by herself too, just like you. But somehow in your mind, she's with a D-bag because it has to be somebody who's worse than you so you can feel justified in, making yourself feel superior. You little piece of shit. I'm not going for this game here. I'm definitely going to call you out on your bullshit. Okay, all you had to say was that you're tired of the dating game and the constant rejection. Okay, that would have been fine. But now you want to start coming up with scenarios about what some women that you don't even know possibly did, and then condemning them for it all out of your imagination. You sound like a fool. And yes, I have heard the right one will come to you and it will happen when you least expect it. And you have to love yourself and not worry. It does not work that way, not for all of us. We give and give, put ourselves out there, and it just doesn't come. Years go by. You watch everyone else progressing through life, not you. You dial it back, focus on yourself, try to love yourself. But no matter how many new hobbies you create, hours at the gym, friends you see, etc., there's always something missing. So you can't be happy and love yourself. And even when you try, your trauma just won't allow you to. Things go well, and then your head magically starts to give doubts, toxic thoughts, rumination. Oh my God, you got so many emotions. You need a script, some music to go with this or something. You watch others find a new relationship easily. Sure, it's not always the best route, but at least they have someone. I hate we live in a world where it's okay to expect hours to respond. There's rarely a good excuse for that. I'm someone who stays so freaking busy. Unless I'm physically out of service somehow, I always make an effort to answer within a reasonable amount of time. Well, a reasonable amount of time for me is days. So you would really be mad at me. Hell, half the world has Apple Watches that show them that they've been texted. This isn't 1990. I hate we live in a world where if you hit it off with someone well, you have to pretend like you don't wish to see them the next day, that you want to text them that day, but feel the pressure of waiting a few days and not seem too eager. Then you don't want to talk to several people at once after a good first date, but you almost have to so you don't get too consumed with one person too fast. It makes me want to shut down entirely, isolate from the world, shut off my brain, not feel, not care. Therapy doesn't help either, and neither do meds. Try wine. Some of us maybe are just heartbroken. Maybe we just don't get to feel love from someone else in that way. Okay. Dude, this was the whiningest shit I have read in months. Okay, let me go back here. And okay, I already corrected you about your assumptions and stuff. And then the other part, you feel, I'm reading here, amazing sense of entitlement. Like, because you did all these things that, you should be a winner now. You should have gotten the prize that you wanted. You should be have reached the goal. It doesn't work like that. And it's the thing, like, if you are coming off like this so negative, if you bring up, if a woman senses any of this negativity, she's going to be a major turnoff for her. And she's not going to be bothered with you. That's how that goes. You try to go, so you try to find a balance, and then this part here where you said that you have to pretend like you don't wish to see them that very next day. Why did you do that? When I used to do my TV show here in the Bay Area, I did a little TV show on Soul Beat. That channel was so raggedy, but it was a good experience for me. We talked about that, how guys will get a woman's number and then they will intentionally wait to call her. Or, I guess texting is a big deal now. Y'all want to wait. Don't wait. If you're interested in the woman, let her know. Be real. Stop listening to these idiots online telling you all this old stupid stuff about waiting and building interest and all this shit. If the woman is interested in you, then you let her know. Okay? Let her know that your interest you ain't trying to be a friend. You ain't gonna go hang out. You want to take her on a date like a grown man, and you won't pick her up at this time, and y'all gonna go here. So dress accordingly. That's what you're going to do. So you talking about, you have to pretend and you feel the pressure of not seeing too eager and all this old shit. I don't know who told you guys that, but that is not how women operate. If we're excited about you, you can call us 10 minutes later and we're going to be happy to hear from you. If she's not excited about you, you waiting is not going to build any excitement. She's just going to be like, oh, good. I guess he saw that I really wasn't interested. I don't even know why I gave him my number. Right? Yeah, he does sound annoying. He just sounds annoying. I mean, this negative energy is just like leaping off the page. And so he says, you do all this, the toxic thoughts of rumination and the doubts, and you try to hide this from the person that you like. That doesn't work. Women have an innate sense of stuff. You don't have to even say it. We can look at your face and your body language and know you on some bullshit. And so we're not going to be anybody trying to be your shrink. The world is too full of other men for that. So, you coming with all this drama and all these issues and shit, then you're just going to get left in the dust. So what can I tell you? You say therapy doesn't help, neither do meds. Like I said, try wine. That always works for me. Bevmo. My favorite. Just try some shit you haven't tried yet. Exactly. Expectations are the number one killer. People going to dates, I get from friends. Okay, they go on a date with a dude, right? They just met the dude, like say on a swipey thing or somebody hookup date or whatever. Something, the matching thing, introduction from friends kind of hookup, not the other kind of hookup. And so you haven't really seen the person yet, right? You may have talked to them on the phone or whatever, but that's about it. Exchange some text, whatever. So you're going to really this is going to be the first time you actually spend time around this person. So these girls be like all dollied up, all fancy, get new outfits, all stuff, go through all these changes to go meet a guy. And then they have this could be the one. And they have like all this build up all these expectations to a man they haven't even met yet. And then, of course, they meet him and it's like a letdown because he's not going to be that fabulous when you just met him. But I just always thought that was really interesting, how many people have those kind of expectations off the bat. I just expect to get myself, oh, that's right, I forgot I have me some Pinot. I'm not having no expectations of nothing. Other than when if they let me pick the restaurant, I know the food. I was like, well, I'm gonna be grubbing. I have an expectation of that. But you can't have expectations of other people. They're never gonna meet them. It's not their job to. Question number 8. Female 18 to 21 from Plymouth, Devon, England. The male's 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My boyfriend wants to marry me, but I keep finding red flags. Am I ignoring the obvious? If you find red flags, then the answer to that is don't marry him. I'm 21. I've been with my 25-year-old boyfriend for 5 months. And while he's deeply committed and talking about marriage, I keep running into things that make me doubt whether he's really the right person for me or if I'm just ignoring obvious warning signs. Here's the good. He's kind, emotional, caring. Told me that he grew up seeing his dad mistreat his mom and promised that he'd never do that. He says he wants to create a loving family dynamic for his children, one that's nothing like the one he grew up in. He includes me in his life, introducing me to his family, friends, even people he just knows as his femme wife. He says I'm everything he could wish for in a partner, and he's willing to change his way of living, his work, and even his religion for me. I did not pressure him into any of this. He simply mentioned that we weren't compatible in these areas, so we wouldn't be a fit, and he said he'd be happy to change in order to be with me. He talks about building a future together, giving our kids the best education, and creating a stable, happy home in 5 months. But here's the bad. From the beginning, there were red flags. After just 2 weeks, he told me he loved me, which kind of felt like love bombing. Early on in the relationship, he pressured me a lot into nook by asking me multiple times and begging me. Even when I was visibly uncomfortable and crying, he didn't stop until I was able to verbalize and say stop. I immediately left in rage and pain, and he wouldn't stop calling. When I confronted him, he claimed he thought crying during nook was normal. And you still fucking with this dude? He acknowledged that he might have been selfish, expressed regret, apologized repeatedly, and has since become very cautious. He also has a past that complicates things for me. He used to work in the music industry and had multiple nook encounters because of the nature of his job back then. It's made him a lot more sexual than average, and I sometimes feel like this leads into our relationship in ways that make me uncomfortable. On top of that, I found his profile on a dating app and decided to test him by creating a fake account. At first, he was cautious, but he eventually invited her to a fancy dinner and agreed to spend the night with her. Wow. And you still fucking with him? When I confronted him, he claimed he knew it was me all along, was just trying to figure out who was behind the account. Immediately after I confronted him, I called him so he would share the app screen with me. He said he deleted the app and said he only used it to promote his work. He follows explicit accounts on Instagram and keeps explicit pictures of his ex on his phone. When I called him out, he said he forgot about the pictures and following explicit content doesn't mean anything. But such content is all over his gallery, browser, and socials. He always apologizes, promises to change. Okay, all this stuff. I believe he loves me. He makes me feel loved and appreciated. He's deeply invested in his relationship, seems genuinely happy to be with me. But the excuses are piling up. He didn't stop when I cried because he thought it was normal. He followed explicit accounts by accident, and he only agreed to meet the fake profile to figure out who it was. I don't even feel that strongly mostly attached to him right now, but I don't know if I'm being too harsh or if my gut is trying to tell me something. I'm truly lost and don't know what to do. Any advice would be appreciated. Well, you do know what to do. You just don't want to do it. This guy is not the man for you. He's not the man for you. He lies he just lying just because it's a sunny day and the wind is blowing. And you still there. So I'm not really sure why he did something to her that she left in pain. So what does that tell you? She said she left in pain and she was enraged. So, don't type it. Okay, don't type anything. But you can fill in the blanks. Don't put it in because it'll make a problem for the video. You can fill in the blanks. You know what he did to her. And so why she's still with him, though, I don't know. Maybe because, You know, a lot of times when these girls hear somebody say, I love you, or, will you marry me, the fiance thing, they lose all they lose all perspective. So it may be something like that. But anyway, young lady, I'm glad you don't feel emotionally attached to him. Please break this off in this. And in the future, if you're in a situation where a guy is pressuring you for nook and you don't want to do it, don't be alone with him and don't go to his house and do not allow him to go to yours. Okay? When he's pressuring you like that, I'm like, why would you put yourself in that position? Where is your sense of danger and your sense of protectiveness about yourself? You need to work on that. Okay? That's really, you shouldn't have done that. That shouldn't have been, you shouldn't have put yourself in that position. So think about that and what you did and how you could have done that differently so that if the situation rises like that in the future, you'll know what to do. Okay? I'm not yelling at you. I just want you to be aware of the fact that, you made a series of kind of questionable decisions and it ended up getting you where you are now. And staying with him is another questionable decision. Question number 9. This is a female in the 35 to 41 age group from Green Bay, Wisconsin. The male, same age group. Summary of issue. My fiance and I have been together since 2021, but I'm thinking of calling off our wedding and I'm seeking advice. Do you think we should call it off? Oh, absolutely. I don't even need to read the letter. If the fact comes up that you question whether you should still marry somebody, the answer to that question is no. That means no. But let's see what's happened. He moved in nearly immediately after our first date. Oh, a carpetbagger. I make a little over 100K and he was making about 45 to 50K. For the first few months, he did not contribute to the household at all. He had been living with his parents prior to us dating and said he was saving to buy a home, but did not have anything saved up. After living with his parents, he still don't have anything saved up. When we sold my property to purchase a new one, we both contributed to the closing costs equally. Wow, you're dumb. But I put down the down payment and purchased everything else needed for the house. We got engaged shortly after. However, I purchased the diamond, the wedding band, and he purchased the gold for the diamond to be set in. I paid for the majority of household expenses. He Venmos me about $800 and makes the $600 car payment. I paid the mortgage, nearly $4,000, utilities, groceries, all dog expenses, entertainment, and all vacations. I also paid over $20,000 for our wedding. I host all of his family functions, pay for the food, prepare it, clean up afterwards, and purchase all their gifts. Wow, you getting pimped. 6 months ago, I asked him to start contributing to the household more by cleaning and finishing projects he's been working on for over a year. I told him if he didn't start doing this, there would not be a wedding. Over the course of the last 6 months, he continuously tells me, you didn't ask me to do that, or I forgot, or any other excuse for not helping, never accepting responsibility. Deb, to get anything done, I have to threaten to leave the relationship, and this time I am 200% serious. We're a month from the wedding, and his behavior hasn't changed. I spent over $6,000 on vacations for us so far this year without him really seeming so to appreciate that I pay for them. I told him I do not want to get married to a 40-year-old who cannot even do simple chore or any type of maintenance that is required when owning a home without nagging him. I understand I'm the breadwinner, but am I wrong for not wanting to spend the rest of my life with a man who cannot even bother to wash a load of towels without being told to or wipe the kitchen counter off? Deb, I don't think this wedding would be the best idea unless I want to spend the rest of my life mothering my spouse instead of being partners. He says I need to tell him exactly what to do and that he, quote, probably should contribute more around the house, but loses all motivation as soon as he smokes the herbalicious. He's a daily user, cannot go a day without it, and won't travel where he does not have access to it. Incomes are still about the same. He was unemployed for nearly a year and didn't get anything accomplished around the house and didn't follow up on unemployment benefits he could have received. So I pulled away more around the house income and chore-wise because he was depressed, but also not actively looking for a job until I gave him a deadline and threatened to leave him. I'm at my wit's end looking for feedback from a non-biased party. Y'all, please chime in as well. I'm going to tell you this. I want you to go and I want you to see an attorney. I'm sure you have receipts for all the payments that you've been making on the mortgage. The little money that he put in to the closing costs or whatever, you're going to give him that back and he's going to sign off on that house and that's going to be your house. Because he hasn't paid nary a mortgage payment, so he can't claim none of the. Yeah, I mean, like if you guys are going to divide it equally, you're not married, so that really won't be an issue. He's going to get out of the house what he put into it, which is whatever the money he paid in the front. You have receipts showing that you paid for everything else. Okay, the $800 that he gave, you can say that for the light bill, the utilities, and some groceries. What you want to do is attribute that to things that are disposable, that were used up, not that it was used towards the house. Because you paid the mortgage, $4,000. Even if there's a little $800, that ain't shit. So you say that would pay the mortgage, I mean, a light bill, water bill, garbage bill, whatever, those kind of things. That's what he paid with his $800 and bought some groceries. So what you want to do is go take your receipts, take the story, and see us, as you call it in the UK, a solicitor, and start ironing this out. Then you're going to kick him out, give him an eviction notice and kick him out because he's just using you. I'm not really sure what it is that you thought you was getting out of this relationship, you were paying him to be with you. That's what you would do. Do you understand what's going on here? You were paying him to be with you. A man who lived with his parents and only made $45,000 a year. That's not something I would have recommended that you do, but you didn't ask me before you did it. You made a stupid decision, and so here you go. You're going to have some issues. Oh, you aren't able to use the PayPal link? Well, you can use Cashapp. Those are only two things that I use. Yeah, because I'm not that high tech when it comes to people be having all these Venmos and all these other things. It's my Cashapp is Debsterism. Same. I use that for everything because I can't be fancy and having different names. Hold on a second. I'll type it in here. I have to get my keyboard. Yeah, that's Cashapp. And just, you still submit your letter on that same form, but just put, just say that that you used, you sent it by Cashapp and tell me what the name was that you sent it under. Same thing. Maybe I'll change the form to say that too, because I don't think I did that. Uh-oh, what did I do here? Hold on a second. Delete. Oh, backspace. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next letter. Question 10. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Rialto, California. The female is 22 to 27 as well. Third issue. I told my girlfriend that I don't want to wear a dress for our Dress as Your Partner theme party for the whole time. How should this be handled? Am I being unreasonable or insecure for not wanting to wear a dress for the whole party? My girlfriend and I are hosting a party with friends and family where our theme is Dress as Your Partner, and we'll vote for the winners. I told her I don't want to wear a dress, but that I'm going to wear one until we vote and decide the winner. For the eating and playing games part, I prefer to wear something comfortable, at least wear what she wears on a typical day, which is sweats. Now she wants to remove the theme entirely, or that I can wear it for only 10 minutes, which is unreasonable. It takes away from the entire theme. Thoughts? Would love to hear from the women who are listening. Well, what else does your girlfriend wear besides sweats? Like, does she wear like booty shorts? Come out in something like that and watch all other women be looking at you. She'll hurry up and think that was a bad idea and get you out that outfit. That's how you have to do people like that. It's what they call it, malicious compliance. So you put on some little, like tank top thing, and then some booty shorts. And you walk out there and let them ladies see your legs and your butt cheeks. And she'll be like, oh, no, let's cancel this theme. That's how you do that, sir. You don't argue with her about it. This is not even something that you should argue about. You can just comply maliciously in a way that's going to make her sorry that she came up with this stupid idea. Dress as your partner. What kind of shit is that? That's what I would suggest. Question number 11. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Kansas City, Kansas. The male's 35 to 42. Third issue. I ended my relationship and I'm looking for advice on how to address requests for closure while respecting my own boundaries. So request for closure. So he wants, okay. I recently ended a relationship with someone due to general incompatibility. We are 34 and 36 respectively, and we're together less than a year. He has an anxious attachment and I lean more toward avoidance style. Part of what led to ending the relationship was my need for personal time and his growing need for all of my downtime. We had regular conversations about our differences and the pressures I felt from him, and he dismissed my concerns, often saying that I created expectations and routines that I felt restricted by. Our discussions frequently became him talking in circles and repeating the same points, and I felt consistently unheard. X texted wanting to have a conversation for closure now that he has had more time to process. I told him I was willing to hear him out, but that I have said everything I had to say, and I think it would be for the best for him to text when he wants what he wants to say. He said it would mean a lot if if it could be a phone call. I reiterated that texting would be best, and he is repeating that he needs it to be a call. I don't feel like this is an unreasonable request, but I feel like I will still be in the same cycle of catering to his wants and needs over my own, even though we are broken up and I feel no need to further discuss things. I am further frustrated that this is a perfect example of why things evolve between us, and he is so blind to everything I have said to him. I guess I'm looking for advice on how to handle this situation. Do I let him call and get it over with? It's not as simple as a call because nothing ever is with him. He'll want to schedule and he'll just be talking in circles for at least an hour. No, well, see, you fucked up. What you were supposed to do when you broke up with him is block him. He shouldn't have been able to text you or call you at all. But you didn't do that. You left the door open for him to come waltzing back into your life and muck it up with stupidity. You did that to yourself. And now you want to act like you just so bothered about it. You should have done what I told you to do and block her. You don't never need to have no conversation with your exes and for closure and all that old shit here. Send him a link to, since you still can text him, go on this channel and you look up the word closure. And there's a video where I talk about you don't get closure. Closure is something you give to yourself. And you send him that video. And then once you know that he's read it, you can see the read on the thing, you press the block button. Okay, so he can't respond and he can't say anything to you anymore. That's what you should have done as soon as you guys broke up. Oh, then you create all this drama and want to be bothering my nerves with this simple shit. It's ridiculous. Everybody listening to this, when you break up with somebody, unless you have kids with them that you need to co-parent, you block that person. You keep them out of your nice, shiny new future. They don't need to be in your present or your future. They're the past. Leave them there. Block them. Okay? Then this kind of shit here, where they be texting you and bothering you and sending you stupid messages and asking you stupid ass questions and bothering your nerves, won't happen because they'll be blocked. You block them on your social media as well, emails and accounts and everything. You block them. So, yeah, this is a perfect example because he's being pushy. So what you do is, like I said, you send him that link. Say, I forgot what the title of it is, but basically what it talks about is closure, something that you give to yourself. Nobody gives it to you. It's something that you give to yourself. And then once you see him that has read it, then you block him and go on with your life. And you will not be having any further conversations or dealings with this clown. Okay. Question number 12. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Santa Clara, California. The female is 42 to 49. Summary of issue. My mom insists on a family trip that conflicts with my new job. Any advice? I recently got a full-time job at a hospital that opens soon. My start date is December 9th, with orientation running from the 14th through early January. My mom booked tickets for a family trip overseas from December 27th to January 18th, even though the family repeatedly said this trip wasn't feasible. My mom knew that I'd been applying for jobs, so I don't know why she expected me to not potentially have a new job soon. She made all of us renew our passports and everything. She's now pressuring me to go on the trip and switch to per diem instead of staying full-time, but I have student loans due on January 8th, and I can't afford to lose the stability of this new role. My older sister also can't go because she's in orientation for her new job. My brother's starting grad school in January, and my dad is launching a new business after being laid off. On top of that, my younger sister, who is in high school, will be missing 3 weeks of school in her senior year. At first, she said the whole family must go, and then she just settled on me and my younger sister. I didn't think I'd get the job at all, but found out after she bought the tickets, which on my end, I guess I should have communicated. But knowing my mom, she would have just said the same thing about telling my job I'm traveling to be per diem. I've explained that my job requires me to be present during this critical period, and I can't just miss the first 3 weeks of January when the building opens because we all need to be trained on the new equipment, tech, and everything. But my mom doesn't understand and is upset with me. How do I handle this? Just let her be upset. How can I communicate to her that I can't go on this trip without jeopardizing my career? I just got off the phone with her and she's pissed. She's angry that my student loans are more important than this trip. Tell her that's right. Your student loans are more important to this trip than her trip. And that if she want to go on a trip so bad, then go by herself because nobody else can go. She didn't consult with anybody about their availability before she booked it. She can still, get a refund. But tell her to go and refund all the trips and then just plan to go by herself or take one of her friends or something. But don't you even think about going. This is for your career. You finished up school and you got a job now. And this is important. You got to get trained. They're not going to give you a full-time job and you're not going to be successful if you don't know what you're doing. You can't go traipsing off for 3 weeks with your mother like a big baby. You're a young man now. You have responsibilities and obligations. And tell her that this instant gratification shit that you did when you were a kid is over. Now you have responsibilities and obligations and debts. And those take priority over fun. And just tell her that. That's all you have to do. Just what I just said. Okay? Keep repeating it like a broken record. She can be mad if she wants to. She'll get over it. Question number 13. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group from Chicago. Third issue. My ex wants me to pay her back all the money she put towards bills while living with me. Is she entitled to it? Hell to the no. But let's see what drama she's trying to pull. My ex and I were together for 6 years. We are in our early 30s. The last 4 years we've spent living at a house that I purchased in my name only. She is not on the mortgage. Since living in the house together, we had split the bills based on income, roughly 60-40 with me paying the majority. She would write me monthly checks to pay her portion. A week before I was going to propose, I found out that she had cheated on me. We broke up immediately. I'm kicking her out, but she's demanding I pay her back everything she put towards the house and bills for the past 4 years, about $60,000. Is she entitled to this money? She's threatening to sue me if I don't pay her. For your information, Illinois does not have common law marriage. Thank you for that. That's very important. Well, what you do is you say, okay, what is fair market value for rent in your area? Okay, because she had a full, use of the house. So you're going to say, okay, this was what you would have paid for rent, the light bills and all this stuff, that, half of everything, food and all that stuff. And you show her where for 4 years, she still got a deal, because where are you going to live for free as a grown woman? No matter where she was living, she would have been paying something. So as long as you didn't use that money, her money, to pay on your mortgage, which I hope you wasn't stupid enough to do that you used the money you got from her, kept it separate, and used it to pay like maintenance stuff, buy groceries, pay the light bill, pay the garbage bill, pay the wood for the fireplace bill, rented the carpet cleaner, pay for repairs, to her car or something. I mean, something along those lines. I would hope that you did that. But like I said, the main thing is, she would be paying to live somewhere. So whatever find out what the fair market value rent is, take that information to an attorney and tell them what's going on. You need legal advice for this one. This could get real sketchy. But she's not going to get no money back. She probably owes you some. But you need, get it all done properly with an attorney, and then send her a bill. This is a summary bill of what you have paid and what the value is of all the stuff that you utilized for the last 4 years. And I'm sure she will owe you some money. That's what you do. Okay. But don't you give her shit. Find out what the rental is for the units in your area. 2 bedrooms apartment, because that would be about essentially what she would have used. Question number 14. This is a female, 22 to 27, from Oahu, Hawaii. Oh, I haven't had a letter from Hawaii for a long time. My boyfriend is annoyed that I have dinner with my family once a week. How do I communicate to him that this is important to me? I'm sure you've already done that. He just don't care. But let's see what happens. I've been with my boyfriend for a little over 2 years. We live in Hawaii and I am from here. I have dinner with my family once a week. He is always invited, but he comes maybe every 2 to 3 months. He gives me a guilt trip every time I go for this weekly dinner. He says things like, a dinner you went to last week, or you go every week, you can miss one, which I do if something pops up. Are you going to that again? I consider myself lucky to have so much family here, while many transplant people live in Hawaii do not. A lot of the time I feel guilty that I don't spend more time with my family. To my knowledge, my boyfriend doesn't dislike my family, They're not the most active or fun like his family when they visit, but they're still my family, and I love and cherish them. He's typically a very level-headed person, so I don't understand why he puts up such a stink about this. How do I communicate with him that my family is a big part of my life? This time with them is important and special to me, and looking into the future, his attitude is very off-putting. I don't want to marry someone who doesn't respect the special time with my family. Sorry for the rant, Deb. This has been going on for over a year, and I needed to vent about it and get some guidance. You don't need any guidance. What you have to do is just put your foot down and tell him, look, they was my family before I met you, and they're going to be my family when me and you break up, which is you keep this shit up. It's not going to be, that might be happening next week. So you need to understand your place here. Okay, we're not married. You don't have no power to tell me nothing about my family. And even if we were married, I would still go. Because, them days of slavery, that shit is over. So I do what I want to do with my relatives. You don't have to go. I'm not pressuring you to. But what you're not going to do is keep bitching and complaining about it, because that's going to make me go over there, not only on the weekend, but on Wednesday too. Just to show you what it's like, because you're getting on my nerves. Now, if it were me, that's what I would have told him. So, their family, you ain't. So I'm going to go see them long before you met you, and after I don't know you no more. I will still be going over there. So you pick one. So, you're either going to shut up and go with it, or we can break up, and then you don't have to worry about it no more. Those are your only two choices. And see which one he picks. Okay. Yeah, you're not going to tell me nothing about my family, my friends, nothing. We're not, you don't have that role. It's too much. Question 15, male, 18 to 21, from Tucson, Arizona. Summary of issue. My girlfriend might break up with me. My girlfriend and I have basically lost the spark in the relationship, and she's basically withdrawing from me slowly. It feels like she has been done with me, and she wants to break up with me. She doesn't even care about me anymore and is not putting forth any effort. My question is how to avoid breakup from happening. You can't. It sounds like she's already broken up with you, sir. This sounds like what I did a video about a couple of weeks ago, quiet quitting, where it's not like a big scene. They don't make an announcement. It ain't no big fight or nothing. They just slowly leave the relationship. They stop calling you. They stop talking to you. They don't want to go nowhere with you. They don't want to see you. And this all takes place very gradually, very slowly, until there's nothing there. And then you're like, oh, I guess I used to have a girlfriend. It's like that. That's what she's done. So for you, she's already broken up with you. Okay, it's already there. It's just nobody just said the words, but it's the relationship is already up in smoke. Just accept it. Time to move on. Question number 16. We got 25 questions. That's number 16. Male, 22 to 27, from Washington, D.C. Female, same age group. Summary of issue. Am I insecure for being mad that my girlfriend defends her baby daddy? My girlfriend of almost a year seems to defend her ex/baby dad when I say things I dislike about him, and I find it infuriating. For example, every time he drops their kid off, I have to strap his car seat because her baby daddy cannot do it properly. The car seat belongs to her, and I brought up today that if he doesn't want to learn how to do it, then he needs to get his own car seat. So strapping in the car seat isn't an everyday occurrence, and I find it pathetic that his child is 2 years old and he still doesn't know how to strap it in. Her response was that he has a hard time getting the straps in and that he was tired of hearing us, quote, bitch, that the car seat wasn't put in properly. I feel like she constantly excuses his bad habits in parenting, and it low-key makes me think that she hasn't moved on. So see, what you're doing is being overly, okay, this is how this would go. This were me. I would not give a fuck because it's not my kid. Now, if he want to put the car seat in all half-assed and stupid and he hits the brakes and the kid goes flying through the windshield, guess who's going to be in jail? It's not going to be you. It's going to be him. Would the kid be, oh yeah, but with her having known that this is an issue and she didn't do anything about it, and you could tell that to police, they were going to put her in there too. So, she would have noticed. Now, people be like, that's so cold. That's her. Yeah, that's her baby. Exactly. And she don't care enough to make sure the baby's strapped in the car seat, right? Why the fuck should you? It's not your kid. See, you overstepping boundaries, and then you worrying about. I mean, it's great that you're so responsible. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is, this is not your battle. So you should not be getting yourself involved in their bullshit or having anything to say about what he don't do about the car seat. If he can't put the car seat in there right, then just let it be in there fucked up. She don't want to do it. It's her kid. Then and he don't want to do it, and it's his kid. Then what you got to do with it? What are you doing it with it for? It's not your kid. It's not your responsibility. If anything goes wrong, it won't shine any kind of negative light on you. And you more worried about, she hasn't moved on. So what if she hasn't? Then leave her alone because she sounds stupid and irresponsible. And so does he. You got yourself involved with two fools. I do not recommend. Okay. This ain't your fight. So you don't do this anymore. Effective today. When he comes with that car seat, you can take it out of his car or whatever. But when it's time for them to go and he's driving off with the kid, you hand him the car seat and then you say, go back in the house. That's what you do. You stop. You don't do this anymore. You just let them figure it out. Okay. And like I said, if the kid goes through the windshield, oh, well, they should have done better. Because again, that won't be on you. If something happens, it's not going to be your fault. And they're going to be the ones, in trouble. Especially when you say, yeah, he always said he didn't know how to put the car seat on. You didn't want to do it. So that means it was negligence. And that means it's going to be, manslaughter at the least, second degree, because he's knew that was a danger. So it's going to be a problem for him. But I wouldn't be worried about it because it wouldn't be me going to jail, prison, whatever. I wouldn't be the least bit concerned. Question number 17. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Oklahoma somewhere. Female 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My girlfriend wants me to choose an in-state school over my dream law school. Is this relationship worth the compromise? Absolutely not. Let's see what's the details here. My girlfriend, who we'll call Sarah, and I have been dating for about 7 months, and we're talking about our future. She has a 6-year-old kid and lives in a small town 3 hours from me. The relationship has had its struggles. I've been studying for law school, and Sarah knows it's my dream to go to a top-tier law school. Doing so would provide me with the opportunities that I desire from a legal career. Sadly, none of these schools are in Oklahoma, and she is doubtful that she can get her child's father to let them move out of state. You've only been dating 7 months. Why would she even think that? Sarah is trying to get me to settle for my in-state school. It's located in the city where I live, which is decent, but nowhere near the level of a top school. She says we can always try to move later. I've tried to remain open to this, but as the relationship has progressed, I can't deny how badly I want to live, study, and work somewhere else. At one point, I expressed this to her, and she said that she would fight in court so that we could move out of state, but she doesn't mention it since and has reverted to pushing for the in-state school, probably because that baby daddy told her, hell no, that ain't happening. When I try to explain the obvious benefits of other schools, she gets really upset and feels that I only want to be with her when it's convenient. As far as the relationship goes, we have had our struggles and disagreements. It's not perfect, but it is generally healthy. A couple of times Sarah's gotten angry that I refused to move to her town. I set the boundary early on that I would never live there, as I absolutely hate it. I try my best as a city kid, but I definitely don't belong, and it gets to me. Despite this, I still spend a significant amount of time there visiting her. Ultimately, I don't want to be trapped in our home state, and I have been experiencing extreme anxiety about the whole situation to the point where I'm taking medication and seeing a therapist to address it. Instead of just saying no, dude, grow a pair, okay? I'm wondering if I should end a good relationship and strive towards my own goals or settle for the in-state school and hope I can be content and build a happy life. No, you're not going to do that shit. Are you crazy? For a woman that you just met 7 months ago and got a kid? Nothing wrong with her having a kid, but I mean, that's not your responsibility. Her concerns with this baby daddy and, out of state travel and stuff, none of your business. Don't have shit to do with you. Okay. Don't involve yourself in her drama. Her living in that raggedy podunk town, not your concern. Okay. Nothing about that has to do with you either. You are a young man with dreams. Pursue your dreams and stay away from her. Better stop fucking her because you need to break up. Because the next thing you know, she's going to get you pregnant. She's going to get pregnant, and you're going to feel like you have to stay in the state because you got a kid there. Don't go back over there. Just send her to say, I'm just getting at this feeling that, we got some vastly different goals here. So we should break up before we get in any deeper. Because at the next opportunity, I'm going to be get the fuck up out of the state. And I won't see you anymore. So we may as well just start that process now. That's what you do. I'm telling you, this is a recipe for disaster. You don't see it coming, but I'm saying she's trying to keep her hooks in you because you're going to be a lawyer and you're going to be making some big money. She'll be able to live a life of easy street on your dime. Get yourself away from this chick immediately and follow your dreams. Ignore her, block her number, forget you even know her, met her. This is going to be all bad for you if you don't listen. You're going to get trapped. You just don't even see it coming. I do. That's what happens when you be old. You get to see shit. You get like X-ray vision into the future. I can just see it now. She's going to be trying to figure out a way to keep that boy there. And that baby would do it. So you better listen to me. Don't you screw her no more. That whatever time you last did it. And I hope that you strapped up well and took care of things, because otherwise, 3 months from now, oh my God, I'm pregnant. It was that last time that we did it. If she comes up with that, just demand a DNA test before you sign anything. But I'm telling you, you better just pay attention. Just cut her loose now. Anybody who's trying to interfere with your dreams is not good for you, and I want you to tell her that. You're trying to interfere with my dreams. We have to break up. Question number 18. This is a female, 22 to 20. Ooh, that letter just pissed me off. That pissed me off. She's 22 to 27 from Montreal, Canada. The male's 20 to 34. Summary of issue. My boyfriend's friends don't speak English around me. I'm 25 and have been with my 30-year-old boyfriend for about 10 months now. Our relationship is very strong. However, the one thing which has becoming a recurring problem that we have been struggling with is when we are with his friends. We are in Canada, but he is from India and his first language is Hindi. I am a white Canadian who speaks English. His friends all speak Hindi Punjabi as their first language. He owns a house and has his friends rent out rooms from him, so I see them every second weekend. And then there are a couple of other friends who we'll see at get-togethers every 2 months, for example. When I go over to his house, with the exception of one, they completely ignore me. Look away, don't make eye contact. They might say something to my boyfriend in Hindi. I've been able to get over these interactions because they are fleeting. But when we are hosting or been invited to a dinner party, etc., with all of his friends, they might say hi to me in the beginning, but for the rest of the time, they will all just speak Hindi with each other. I just sit there for hours not being able to participate or understand anything that's happening. On top of that, I enjoy baking and I often bake for my boyfriend. My boyfriend wanted to share some of the muffins I made with his friends when they came over. They know that I made them and they take one and say something to my boyfriend in Hindi, but nothing to me. The past couple of times I've been in these situations, once I'm away from everyone, I just burst into tears because it honestly is hurtful and overwhelming to be in these situations. My boyfriend feels really bad and usually tries to tell me to not let these situations affect me, but I don't think this is possible. I understand that they want to speak their first language, but I thought in the rare times that they see me, they could at least learn to speak English, sometimes to include me a little. I am trying to learn Hindi, mainly to speak with my boyfriend's family who don't speak English, but this is a slow process when you're a busy grad student. I'm at a point where I just don't want to go to these friend gatherings anymore. They're starting to cause me a lot of anxiety and I don't get anything positive out of them. My boyfriend feels bad, but he doesn't know how to make things better for me. I'm looking at advice on how to deal with this situation, either with the friends or with my boyfriend. Well, it's not his fault that you can't speak. Oh, thank you. It's not his fault that you can't speak Hindi. Just like you want them to learn to speak English, you can learn to speak their language more than it is you. You want into their environment and you want everybody to change for your ass. That's not going to happen, chick. Secondly, they have apps on your phones. You know what I mean? Where use the language and it translates right on the screen. There's no excuse for you to be having this attitude. You hold the little fucking phone up, it hears the Hindi, and it translates it to English and it puts it on the phone, on the screen. And so you can read and know just what they're talking about. Okay? You're just being a lazy bum. Trying to have some excuse to whine to me about some bullshit. Secondly, if you feel so uncomfortable that you need to be crying and stuff, then don't go. That's the main thing. Just stay your ass at home when his friend gets together with his friends. I'm going to tell you one thing, too, about in their culture. They're not going to be interacting with you like that. They'd have a different culture about how men and women interact. The women tend to be off, in a separate area from the men. So they don't really, just from the Indian friends that, I've associated with, they don't mix like Americans do, where the men and women all be in one room. It's like the men be together doing whatever men things, and the women be together doing something else. So they're probably not used to being around a woman and interacting with a woman the way that you are from Canadian American type of culture. That's not the norm for them. if they're like the ones that I know, right? Yeah, cultural. You know what I mean? They don't mix with women like that. So you want to be in this room with all these dudes and thinking that they're gonna be talking to you and all this kind of shit. That's inappropriate in their culture. So you take your ass on somewhere where the women are. Since there's no women there, you leave. You don't need to be there around a whole bunch of dudes, even if it is your boyfriend. I never was like, his frat brothers would come around and stuff. I would make myself scarce. I was get the baby and we get in the car and we go somewhere. I'm not trying to be there around a whole bunch of dudes. You know, they get to drinking and talking stupid and it was not, no. Even if they was trying to be polite, because they were in our house after all, you know, they try to be, they come in the door, they be polite and stuff. But man, once they start drinking that yak and they start playing cards and stuff, it was just dominoes. It just, you seen a bunch of cues together. It's just not a pretty sight. And so I would, you know, we get in the car, we go somewhere, go to my mother's house, go to my friend's house, go somewhere. But we ain't gonna be in the house with a whole bunch of dudes. It's inappropriate for you to even think that that's appropriate for you to do. And that they should be, you know, like sucking up to you and shit. Take your little narrow ass on somewhere. You ask your boyfriend, is he there? I'll drop the muffins off and then I'll deuce out. And that's all that you need to do. You're not his wife. Okay? It's not your house. So nothing about the situation is about you. You just got a little sense of entitlement. Child, it's very inappropriate for her to even have this expectation. She's not looking at the cultural difference. She got that, you know, I'm not going to say it, but y'all know what I'm thinking. That majority thinking they special attitude, like everybody's supposed to cater to her fucking ass. No, bitch, take your ass home and go away from all these men. They don't need you there. They ain't trying to have you there. That's why they speak in Hindi, because they want you to take a clue and go home. I don't want to be around a whole bunch of dudes like that anyway. I don't even understand where she's coming from. Dudes, I mean, they just stink. It's too many of them. They just get to clown and I just don't want to be bothered. I learned that with my brothers, you know, just, you got 3 brothers and then they friends come over. So now it's about 8, 9 dudes and me and my mother. Me and my mother would be upstairs and far away from them and just let them do whatever they're going to do downstairs and just be free. And I don't want to be looking at them. I'm not trying to talk to them. I don't want to look at them. I'm not trying to share, ask them no questions. I don't want them to ask me nothing. I just stay away from them. I don't understand her attitude at all. It's inappropriate. Yeah. They're all guys. And she's like, they're his friends. Some of them live there. So, I mean, you know, they're going to be there all the time, I guess. But the other ones are their friends that come over for these events she's talking about. But I don't understand why she thinks that she's supposed to be like so revered and honored and, you know, they're supposed to change their whole way of being with each other to suit her. Who the fuck is you? Take your ass home. Be your passenger princess ass at your house. Question number 19. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Cardiff, Wales. Summary of issue. Is there any hope for single moms? Oh. Yes, the Kalima, that's the answer right there. I always see single moms getting brought up on every single dating sub. No one should be forced to date a single mom if they don't want to. There's no problem with that. However, it's the judging behind it that gets to me. I became a single mom after my husband died. My child is nearly an adult now. Do men ever consider that people, both men and women, can become single parents due to their spouse dying or some other unfortunate circumstance? What about single moms whose kids are adults or about to become adults? This is not to say that you should be forced to change your preferences just because of that. I'm just out here screaming into the void because I loved my husband so much, and now I'm a single parent being shit on because of it. I do have resentment when it comes to being a single mom. It's not like I made bad choices or whatever. Sorry for the rant, but at this point, I'm wondering if anyone cares about people like you and me who became single parents due to circumstances out of our control. Oh, well, thank you for acknowledging that, Cardiff, Wales. We've got people watching this show from all over. No, they don't think like that because especially when you're young, you know, nobody thinks, you know, because when people talk about, well, my husband's dead, usually they're people like in their 50s, 60s, 70s, you know, and 80s, and, you know, not late 20s. So they don't think of that, especially, you know, not somebody, he's not a gangbanger. He's not, you know, I mean, there would be no reason to think that a man who lived that lifestyle would be dead. But car accidents take a whole bunch of people out. There's industrial accidents that happen at people's jobs, like firefighters and police officers and stuff, construction workers. I mean, accidents happen like on the job related types of things. So if people don't think about that when you're a young woman. They don't think, they always automatically assume that you're a baby mama. So, and it's like, whatever. I mean, I'm not here to try to change the world. I just, was trying to live in it. But I know you're resentful. I went through that too, because people just look at you and they just make all these assumptions. They don't even ask you. Like, sometimes, like I had a friend, she ended up with her sister's 3 kids because the sister and her husband died in a car accident. And the kids were being babysat. And so she ended up, just going to court and getting legal guardianship of the 3 kids. None of them was her kids. But she, would walk around with these 3 kids. So people would automatically assume that she was a baby mama with 3 baby daddies or whatever. But they were her niece, 2 nieces and a nephew. So, it's just really, people really, I would hope, would have a more of an open mind and start asking questions instead of jumping to conclusions. Because you just never know what people's story is. You just never know. But the bottom line is, though, for both of us and everyone else out there who's a single parent, no one has to take you with your kid. That's an option. They may or may not want to do it, and that's fine. Either way, it's fine. Because it is a lot of, it's a responsibility that not everyone is ready for. It's an obligation. And even if they, you have your finances totally together to take care of your kid, they will still have some emotional investment and physical investment and time in helping you parent your child because they love you and they know that's something important to you and they're going to help you, do that. So, some people really don't want to do it or they don't feel they can do it. Some people don't want kids at all, whether it's theirs or anyone else's. So, I mean, there's so many factors to consider. Please don't get upset about it. People, just like some people like vanilla ice cream and some people like Rocky Road, chocolates with sprinkles and all this old crazy looking stuff. I'm obviously looking at it. But, people have different flavors that they like and they're entitled to have what they like. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I know I'm not. So it's the kind of thing, you just got to roll with it. You'll find somebody who wants you and your kid and who's, be sympathetic to the situation that puts you in that, where you are, that made you that way. Because I had that same resentment. You feel like, I did everything right. I did everything I was told, did it all by the book, check. And then still ended up being a single mother. Anyway, God damn it. Nothing you can do about it. Yeah, what they want to do, they want a woman to make babies with, but what they want to do, they don't want to be married. They just want you to breed them a kid because what their goal is, Luna, is to clip your wings because, see, you've been seeing us too attractive. So by loading you up with another baby, you have some, you'll be less attractive. The more kids you have, the fewer men want you. Most guys can get away with one. They'll deal with one kid. One from the ex-husband, one baby daddy, one. But you start having multiple kids by multiple different men, they ain't trying to deal with it. Yeah, think of it that way, Luna. So, because if you cute and you got one kid and they come up to you and they talk about having to have a baby for me, you say, oh, hell to the no. Because that's all they trying to do. That's all they're trying to do. Yeah, or that too, Hong Kong. They after your kid, not after you. They don't really want you. They just want to get access to your child. So, it's a lot of things to consider when you're a single parent. I always put my daughter at my auntie's house or my mother's house. And she did not be around my dates. I think she met maybe 2 of them. Exactly. Because it gets you off the market. And then they can always have a way to control you through that kid. So, women who don't think about this kind of stuff and be happy say, I'm going to have a baby for him. You're an idiot. You stupid. You clipping your own wings voluntarily to clap with some clown that you're not even married to. You out your rabbit ass mind. Question number 20. This is a female, 28 to 34 from Calgary, Canada. And the other female, 20 to 34. How can I tell my best friend that she has really bad body odor. Funky, say you funky. One and done. That's right, girl. That's how you do it. My best friend and I have been friends. It's one in every column where somebody's hygiene is just not on it at all. My best friend and I have been friends for over 15 years, since middle school. She has never had a hygiene issue. She likes soaps and candles and used to wear perfume. The problem began when she became engaged to her now husband. He is actually my husband's brother, so he's my family too, and I've known him for 10 years. My husband has no issues with hygiene, but his brother does not wear deodorant ever. Brother-in-law and his clothes have that strong BO smell that follows people that don't use good-smelling soap or antiperspirant or deodorant. Best friend's sister/sister-in-law now smells like that too. She always smells like that, even when we hang out just the two of us and is wearing her own clothes. I don't know what kind of laundry detergent they use or if she stopped wearing deodorant like her husband. But if I were her, I'd want my best friend to tell me, but I don't know how to do it. Say, oh, is that it? Well, you can say, bitch, your ass is funky. What is up with you? You stop bathing and using deodorant because you got that funky ass husband? Is that what's going on? Y'all stink, so you can't come to my house. I don't miss words like that. I just tell you, funky people cannot come to my house. First of all, you be sitting on my furniture and putting your arm on, you know. Okay, I told you about this girl, like she borrowed a blouse of mine for a job interview. I had this silk blouse. I used to love that blouse. She wanted to wear it to the interview, right? I'm like, fine. So she said, I'll get it dry cleaned, and then I'll give it back to you. I'm like, fine. I'm thinking, it's going to be normal. What the hell? I don't know what kind of funk that girl had in her armpits, but that blouse, she cleaned it. It came with the dry, the blue plastic over it and everything. And it smelled like her. It smelled funky in the armpit area. It smelled funky. So I put it back in the dry cleaners. I'm like, okay, it's got some kind of scent. I don't know what this is. So the lady smells. She's like, oh. So she tried to get it out. It did. You know what I did? I gave her that blouse. I gave it to her because I just could not ever wear it again. It smelled like her. It was stinky. I was so mad. It's like, bitch, I didn't necessarily give your ass something that's cotton that could get washed in some damn bleach. That's what that needed. But it was silk. And whatever that funk was, it went in there and it never came out. I was so upset. So I know that's what you mean, but I don't do stinky people. If my best friend was funky, I'd be like, why are you funky? You know you stink, right? You smell like your raggedy ass husband. Both of y'all walking around here being offensive to people's noses. What are you doing? Why are you smelling like that? Well, yeah, because they smell so bad and they've been smelling so bad for so long, their nose has shut down because it was just too much for their nose to take. So their nose stopped working. So now the only people who can smell the funk is other people. Middle schoolers, yeah, they be funky. They have some unbelievable funk. It'd be like that brand new fresh funk because they just started wearing deodorant. And then the boys with their feet. So you put the armpits with the feet too? Oh, girl, no. It's just all bad. Question number 21. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Memphis. Ooh. What do I do when a random stranger is crashing your date? Wait, what? A couple of weeks ago, I invited a girl for some drinks at a bar nearby. When we arrived at the bar, we took seats together and had some conversation. There was a random guy sitting alone nearby drinking his beer, overhearing our conversation and decided to interrupt our date. I felt a bit uncomfortable because he was obviously interested in my date. He was telling his story and was asking her a lot of questions, and in the end, he became like the center of attention. I didn't have a chance to flirt because he was kind of claiming this conversation, and you didn't do nothing? At a certain point, I was kind of upset and asked him, clearly annoyed, to leave us alone, please. He felt offended but didn't left. At a certain point, I left with her, but she went back home saying it was totally killing the vibe at the bar. I want to prevent this next time. What would you do if some random guy interrupts your date? Did you ever have a similar incident? Hell no. But even if yes, I did, but it wasn't. Well, they didn't interrupt the date, but what they try to do is they wait until your guy gets up to go get a drink or go to the bathroom or go out to make a call or something like that. Then here they come sliding over trying to talk about, oh, you having a good time? Why is that your concern? You see, I'm here with somebody. Can you just go away? That's so fucking rude. Now, that's how I get rid of them. I don't engage them. Now, for you, though, sir, see, you You didn't handle this right, and that's why the girl went home, because you didn't you didn't intercede. You just showed no kind of masculinity at all. What you were supposed to do is say, look here, motherfucker, I'm on a date with this my lady. Get your ass up and get the fuck back to where you were. You don't belong over here. This is not a situation for three motherfuckers. This is for her and me. Get up and get gone before you have a problem. And then he would have got up and left. Talking about he was offended. He wasn't offended. He just knew you was weak and a little punk, and so he punked you right in front of the girl. You need to do better. This is no kind. What you did is like, you killed any kind of vibe that she would have had for you, because you just come off as weak and spineless. You're just gonna let some other man take over your date like that, and you don't say shit except leave us alone, please. That's all you said. You didn't call him a motherfucker or say shit or hell or damn or you rude cocksucker. You didn't say nothing. You just sit there and just let him just take over the date like that. Don't you understand how that was a turnoff for her? Women want to feel like we're in a situation with a dude, he can handle some shit. You didn't handle nothing. You let some stranger handle you. Dude, don't ever try to call her again. That's not, it ain't gonna happen. Yeah, he weak. He weak, and that's a turnoff. I'm looking at this thing somebody titled it. She says, my child's dad's feet smell of a dead skunk. That's some powerful funk. But yeah, dude, you messed up. You messed up. You cannot let men treat you like this. And you have to, if you're in a situation with a young lady, you have to show her that you can protect her. You didn't do anything. You just sat there and let this dude just railroad both of you. She didn't feel comfortable speaking up and telling him anything because you didn't do it. So for all she knows, you were okay with it because maybe you didn't really like her that much anyway. You see how that came off? That's why she was just kind of confused and just wanted to leave and go back home, because she wasn't sure where you were coming from. You didn't make it known. You just sat there. I don't know why they scared of other men. I'm not scared of nobody. How you gonna be scared of another dude? I mean, for real? Just pick up a bottle and bash him over the head with it or something. So if he say he's not going nowhere, yes, you are. If you can get up and go back to that bar, or you get ready to go to the emergency. Which one do you want? Because I'm getting ready to bust your head open. So you talk crazy to him like that. Talk crazy to him like that, and they would quickly get up. It ain't that serious, brother. Yes, it is. Because I told you to get your fucking ass up from my table. Nobody invited your ass over here. Just over here, just all up in my mix. Get the fuck on. Now, I'm a woman, and I would say that. So what kind of man is going to sit there and let another man punk him like that? Ooh, my God. Question number 22. Female, 22 to 27 from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Summary of issue. I snooped, and now I don't know what to do. Well, that's what you get. So last night, my boyfriend, we've been together for a year and a half and living together, had some friends over for game night. We were all drinking, and I was drunk. He gave me his phone to pick some music, and drunk me thought it was a good idea to snoop. I found some text between him and a female friend. I do not know her. The initial text I saw was him talking about Nook Nook and about how much he enjoyed it with me. I scrolled up a little, and I saw that she sent him 2 pictures of her in some lingerie, asking for his opinions, and he gave them. My initial reaction was anger. I was so angry that she would send them, and so angry at him for responding. Today, I can't stop thinking about it. I feel horrible for looking. He has given me no reason to think he is unfaithful, but my curiosity got the best of me, and I don't know what to do. I feel like I need to tell him that I saw it, and I'm feeling very disrespected. How do I bring this up? You don't, because you had no business looking. Now, obviously, what you were supposed to do while you was in his phone was delete him. You know what you're supposed to delete them, so he would have known you did it, but what's he gonna say? You deleted pictures from my phone of some bitch in lingerie, and you've been like, yeah, that's right, and don't be having no more of them, motherfucker, because you tripping. But that would have been the end of it. But no, you didn't do it. Now you want to just sit around and whine and cry and want to confront him and all this old stuff here. We were supposed to just delete the thing and then go on the phone and block her while you had his phone, right? Then she would have never been able to send him nothing else, and he would have never figured out that she was blocked. See, that's how you do things when you want to just, be a broom rider. You don't make a scene and want to fight with him about it. That's stupid. You handle the shit. And then when he figures out that what happened, he say, "Did you block so and so?" "Yeah, I did block that bitch." And that don't you be having no other bitches sending you pictures of them in some lingerie. Well, he was tripping. Do that shit again. See what happens to you. Then he'd be like, "Oh," and he probably would laugh. I think it was funny. But he'd be like, "Oh, fine," because he wouldn't care. It don't sound like he had too much conversation with her. It wasn't like a long-term chat relationship or nothing. It sounded like it was some short-term shit. And then that was it. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, Hong Kong, I tried to teach y'all how to be a savage like me. And it's just like, you don't be bargaining with men. I don't bargain with men. I tell them stuff. Like, well, this is it. This is what we gonna do. And anytime you don't want to do things my way, then there's the door. Hit it. But one thing we're not gonna do is some stupid shit that you want to do. We're not doing that. So you're gonna be like on my path and on my track, or you just get out. They do love it. When you just, because I don't know, then I wouldn't have said a word, right? And because then they gonna notice, but they gonna be too scared to say anything until the brave ones, they'd be like, did you delete that picture of that girl that was in my phone? I sure did, motherfucker. And you have her send some more and watch what happens to you. Anybody for that matter, and you watch what happens to you. And they'd be like, oh, because they like it when you act like you jealous. A little bit, not, like psycho, but just a little bit, like, I will beat your ass. You better watch your P's and Q's, boy. Question number 23. Oh my God, we're almost at the end of this torture. Male, 18 to 21, from Irvine, Scotland. Irvine. I never heard of it. Summary of issue. My close friends pranked me real bad and I can't move on. My friends were all 20 years old, of 7+ years, played a prank on me about a girl who was interested in me, and even though it doesn't mean much to them, I'm extremely distressed. I was recently talking to my friends to whom I'm really close, and they mean a lot to me and I to them, on video call. We do these for 1 to 3 hours a day because we are studying in different countries. One of my friends told me that I have a girl I know that might be interested in talking to you. Me, who had gone through a really bad breakup 2 years before, was quite ecstatic. I didn't have a lot of romantic interactions with women after that, as I was either too scared or felt as if I was betraying my love or trying to fall in love again. Now, when he'd bring that up to me, I really wanted to go ahead with it, and I didn't want to be a miserable, alone fuck again. I decided to trust him on 2 conditions. One, that he is someone I've been close to for more than 7 years, so trust is a given. And number 2, he showed me Instagram messages from this friend of his who he claimed was interested in me. So I started talking to her about 2 days ago, and it went well. Not so well as it would have seemed suspicious to me, but well enough to help me gain my confidence and lowly self-esteem. I was quite happy about this romantic interaction and quite literally made my days. My mood improved. I started to feel better about myself, and I was what you would call a happy person. Come to today, I talked to her after some race, like normal. She was a big fan, apparently, and she video calls me. Now I'm ecstatic about this because why wouldn't I be? To my disaster, it was 2 of my friends who have been talking to me all this, and they were willing to continue this longer, but didn't because they thought, quote, this wasn't the right thing to do, end quote. They had made the Instagram account seem genuine, and foremost, their word was something I trusted with all my being. Wow. That's not even a prank. That's cruel. To them, it is a prank, and I'm overreacting. It was just for 3 days. It's not like I was in love or anything. I guess I was having a genuine interaction with a female made me feel I was. I am someone who has been starved of love for more than a year. Maybe I had enough of it. Maybe I was willing to move on and actually be happy. I had tears in my eyes when I was questioning them about all this. My self-confidence is shattered again, and I feel ugly as fuck when looking into the mirror. Your advice regarding this would be appreciated. I don't even know what to say. So Andrea says one of them has a crush on you. I don't know if it's that. And it seems like bullying to me. Like they don't like him because this is something that's very hurtful to him. For them to go through this extreme to set up this took planning and forethought to try to manipulate and yank his chain and ultimately hurt him. They did this with intent and malice. So I know, even though you say that, they're friends and all this old stuff here, I always talk about every 7 years, we go through a metamorphosis. You say you've been friends with these people for 7 years, it's time to cut them loose. Nobody who is your true friend would do something like that to you. That was, like I said, they set this up. They sat there and plotted how they were going to fuck you over. So what, you using the term friends for these individuals is a stretch, a real big, deep, long stretch. These people are not your friends. And even the ones who weren't directly involved in it had to know about it, and not one of them told you. You see what I mean? So to me, they're all involved. They're either the perpetrators or the accomplices, and I would be done with all of them. I would find me a whole new group of friends, ones who understand respect and who would never get together like that gang pack mentality to bully and hurt somebody. That is not even sane behavior, what they did. So, dude, listen to me. Yeah, sadistic and evil is right. Hong Kong just nailed it. Those are people, I don't know. I mean, who thinks to do something like that to somebody? Knowing that his state of mind and knowing how he went through a horrible breakup and how his self-esteem is shaky and stuff, and they're gonna intentionally do something like that to him. To the point where they put up a fake Instagram page and lied to him repeatedly and played these little games with his mind for days. Now, you, sir, need to get you some new friends. Okay? That's my advice. Cut them all off, go into your little phone and block them all, and then block them on your social media, block them on your phone, block them in your email, and go on with your life, because they are not your friends. They just proved that to you. This is very unfortunate. I hate that this happened to you. This is the kind of stuff that marks you for life. And, when you're really young and you had this kind of betrayal happen to you, it makes it really difficult to trust other people for a long time. I know I went through it myself with a friend of mine. We had been friends through junior high. She did some egregious shit, and yeah, it changed me. It changed me. I think I used to be a lot more, take people at face value and stuff. After that, I'm suspicious of everything. I mean, it's helped me in this work that I'm doing now. I mean, I could have been that way and been so successful at this, seeing the backside of stuff and people that they try to hide. I wouldn't have been able to do that with the skill that I do it now if it hadn't been for that situation. So I suppose it would have some usefulness. Question number 24. This is a female in the 35 to 42 age group. She's African American from Charlotte, North Carolina. The male, 35 to 42, he's Black as well. Summary of issue. A guy on the swipey thing I'm going on a first date with tells me on text there has to be a limit to how much time I spend with my family and how much they will visit us. Oh, this is like the lady from Hawaii with her boyfriend. Don't want her to go to the dinners with her family. I'm 38, he's 42, have texted for 1 week and had a phone call. Okay. On my profile, it says I eat Sunday dinner with my family every Sunday. He asked me if I do that every Sunday, and I said yes. He then texted me that it's not usual for him to meet someone that spends that much time with their family. Like it's something that most people don't do. They did that in Soul Food. Remember Big Mama? Everybody went over there on Sunday. I questioned him and asked if there was a problem for him, and I told him that I spend more time with my family than that. He answered that it's important that his partner prefers to spend more time with him and in their own home than with her family, and that there are limits to how much time his partner can spend with her family. Okay, wait. This is somebody you texted with and talked to one time on the phone for a week, and he telling you all of this, but you can't do? And that there are limits to how much time his partner can spend with her family, and that is something that has to be discussed later because there are more important things that maybe has to be done, and I can't visit my family then. It also has to be discussed how and often they can visit us if we live together in the future, because he doesn't want company when he is tired. So I haven't even met him, and he's already talked about there has to be limits to how much time I spend with my family. He seems to think that Sunday dinner every Sunday is too much. That is crazy in my ears. Is this a red flag or deal breaker for you, Deb? Absolutely. I love my family and spending time with them. Another thing is he also want to know if all my exes look good. Girl, why don't you just go into your phone and block this fool? This This you should even take the time to write this advice letter. Just somebody, the fact that you talked to him one time and he already trying to tell you what to do and dictate your entire life, that would be enough for me to be like, oh yeah, look at the time. I need to go. And then I would block him. Oh, he's very controlling and just stupid on top of it. Can you imagine? First of all, though, before I blocked him, I think I would have to be like, okay, let me explain something to you who just hasn't met me yet and trying to already boss my world. I do what the fuck I want to do. You and nobody else tells me what to do. You ain't my daddy, and even my daddy didn't tell me what to do. So guess what? This shit here is over before it even starts. I'm not trying to have you tell me shit. And I would have hung up on him and blocked him. Yeah, he sound like a nut. Girl, don't you ever, I mean, as long as you enjoy spending time with your family. I mean, I have some relatives I don't want to spend time with them. I do anything other than spend time with them clown. But it's like, if you have family that you want to spend time with and you enjoy it and they enjoy you, you do that. You don't worry about what some man says. Even if you're married to him, you still do it. Because they be trying to say, well, we have other stuff to do. No, we don't. Just like you go play video games and do all that bullshit you want to do, I'm going to go do what I want to do with my time. So you shut up and just go sit down somewhere with your remote control and make some magic happen. And the final question of tonight, this was long because I did the 6 from before and 25 for tonight. I've been talking. This is a young man. Well, I guess he ain't that young. He's 35 to 42 from Milpitas, California. Female, same age group, summer of issue. My girlfriend wants to get married and I don't. She always knew that. What do? You break up. But let's see your long-winded, detailed story. Oh my God, how long did he write? He wrote all kind of feeling. I'm 35 and she's 40. I want to say up front that it was very forthcoming about the fact that I did not want to get married again or have more children. I already have 4, 8 and 7-year-old sons and 3-year-old twin daughters. My ex-wife was a fucking disaster and up and left me shortly after the twins were born. I've had my kids full-time since 2021 and was awarded full custody of them in 2022. My ex didn't show up in court one time. She has never come to see them. She has pretty much fucked off to her family's home in another state and doesn't care anything about these kids. Okay, so you got a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, and 2 and 3-year-old twins. I met my girlfriend in late 2022. While it is still possible, I realized she had a closing window, and I told her I didn't want to waste her time, but that I did not want to get married or I did not want any more kids. That was also made very clear in my dating bios. We are both in very demanding careers. I'm a lawyer. She's in public accounting. I figured out how to make my life and those of my children work with the career that I have, and a 5th child would be a recipe for disaster. She said she was okay with this. It now seems that she thought I was going to change my mind. We recently went on a trip to celebrate our 2-year anniversary, and on the last night, she had a meltdown in her hotel room because she thought the trip was, quote, going to be something else, end quote. I reiterated all those conversations where she said she was okay with things as they were, and she admitted that she thought I was going to change my mind. She kept saying shit like she would be different. I was, quote, just traumatized by my ex-wife. She actually wanted to be a mother, etc. I feel like total shit because it feels like I took something from her, but I also was very upfront about what I wanted and did not want. It seems that we are at an impasse, and I've told her that nothing has changed about my feeling for her, but also nothing has changed about my position on marriage and children. She has said that she needs time to think and respect that, but I don't really know what to do here. I'm thinking it may be prudent to just end it because this is a fundamental incompatibility. Absolutely. And sir, with you being an attorney, I'm surprised you didn't think to do this, but you were supposed to, get some kind of letter agreement and have her sign this shit that she understood that that you were never going to get married and that you were never going to have any children and that she was in fully agreement with that and she agreed to date you in spite of those things and make him sign and get it notarized. Why didn't you think that? Even though people would laugh and say, oh my God, it's not that serious. Oh, it is absolutely that serious just because now. Because now when she's talking about, I thought you would change your mind, you could slap that paper down and say, what about this would make you think that? This was signed, sealed, and delivered. This is a legal document that you fully agreed and participated in this relationship with the full knowledge and consent that I was never going to give you what you're talking about. So where would this stock magically appear from? And you could jam her up like that. Now, you being an attorney, you should have taken care of that. Because basically you guys had like a verbal agreement, but you should have memorialized it in writing. That's what you were supposed to do. That's your career. You already knew you didn't want no kids, so what's the problem? But you know, if she wanted kids and she thought she could get him to change his mind, that's her fault. She never should have consented to date him with a man who's already got 4 kids and told her he doesn't want anymore. He had a very bad situation with his ex-wife. She just don't want to be. She didn't want to be bothered. Yes, this women always think that they can get a man to change his mind and he's going to be different. That her coochie is so special that it's going to make him lose his mind. And he just going to, not know what to do and just be like, give her whatever she wants. That shit don't work, especially for somebody whose mind is strong enough to be an attorney in California. I heard this is the bar is one of the hardest ones to pass. He got a bar. He's a licensed attorney here. Girl, you ain't changing his mind about nothing. Dude is, okay? He made a decision and he going to stick to it until they throw dirt on his face. That's what she should have thought. What kind of man is going to be an attorney, first of all? And then depending upon how successful he is, what kind of law he practices, that'll even give you more of a clue about his personality and his determination and his how he sticks to his decisions. Okay? But you thinking that you so special that you gonna come in and change a man's mind when he's struggling with 4 kids and balancing that whole thing with 2 3-year-olds? Yeah, 4 kids, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, and 3-year-old twins. So that's 4 kids. And he's doing that by himself. He don't have time for no 5th kid dealing with you. That's so not gonna happen. I don't know what she was thinking. She's delirious. But anyway, sir, we talking all around you, but the bottom line is you're correct. You need to let her go. She's 39 or 40 or whatever you said. So, she still got another year or two. She can have a baby if she wants one. She can go to the sperm bank. They got a good one down there in San Jose, Santa Clara somewhere, and get herself pregnant if that's what she wants, but it won't be your kid. And, so just let her go and do that. That's what she wants to do. Yeah, but he's an attorney, so it's not like he broke. He probably got nannies and shit for housekeepers and all kind of stuff. Because, attorneys out here, they be making bank. $300,000-$400,000 a year is nothing. So he ain't hurting for no money. I'm sure he's handling his, everything quite well. But get a dog, get a cat, get something. But, she thinks she want a baby. A lot of people think they want a baby till they have one. And they'd be like, oh, shit, wait, I done messed up and it's too late. Better think about that stuff. But he's very determined. He knows what he wants and that's not it. So good for him. But anyway, that ends our show for today. Am I going to lie and say that I'll be back Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday? I'm not going to do that. Y'all will see me when you see me. Just, the best thing, though, is to hit the subscription button so that you... what am I going to look for? Oh, so that you get the notification. So when I do decide to show, you will know when it's going to be. Oh, yeah, I need to change that. It was Wednesday. I need to change it. But anyway, if you want to send in a question for a future show, this is where you send it. Right there at the bottom of the screen, Debsterism.com/get-advice. That is the URL for the submission form. You submit it there. Even if you want to pay for it and get your question answered privately, the same form, you just use Cashapp or PayPal to pay the fee. But other than that, you just submit it for free and hope that your letter gets picked, at some point. We don't promise. It might not be for months, but eventually, I guess most people's letter gets responded to. All right. And other than that, what else is coming up? Oh, February Day. That's right. I'm looking into getting some speakers because we don't do February month anymore. I'm just doing it used to be a video a day. February can't do that. So what we're going to do is just do a day. And I'm trying to line up a couple of speakers and I'll do advice letters and take your calls and we'll be just chopping it up. And so it should be an interesting afternoon for us here on the channel. And if you have a suggestion for a guest, maybe some of the past guests we had or one that you ran into that you think would be good, just send me an email to survivingdating@gmail.com and tell me what the person's name is. And I'll reach out to them. Okay, I need their name and a contact information, like a website or something. And I probably have room for about 5 guests that day. Yeah, because if they don't stay on for 30 minutes or so, yeah, that should be about right. All right. So other than that, what's this? Why can't I make this play? I'm trying to make this play. There we go.